popular of a haunted attraction it had become. We took a look at their live stream on their website, but unfortunately it didn't seem to be working. Leaning into their haunted status, the Willard Library has gone so far as to offer haunted ghost tours to those seeking their own paranormal thrills. TikTok user Theatre of the Absurd seems to have captured a chilling bit of ghost footage, thanks to the likely haunted old theatre where he works.
Someone in here? Hello?
In the video, the TikToker gives viewers a tour of the creepy old theatre.
It's a really beautiful theater, as you can see, if you can see it at all.
He explains that he had been hearing a noise coming from the theatre when no one else was supposed to be around.
But I keep hearing a noise in here, and there's not supposed to be anybody here, so...
Filming for posterity, the uploader shows the unique old architecture of the theatre, as well as one of its unique attractions, the ghost light.
There's the ghost light. It's the light we keep on for...
The uploader explains that the light is usually left on in order to help guide any spirits that happen to remain in the old theatre.
It's the light we keep on for ghosts, for people who still remain here and whatnot, and
However, it's just when the uploader explains the function of the light that he immediately seems to get the sense that he's not alone. Looking up into one of the far balconies, a creepy figure can be seen lurking, watching the uploader.
What is that?
The camera holder tries to get a better vantage point. It's here we can make out a grey silhouette of a man staring down from the balcony. The uploader then follows up with a second clip in which he investigates a potential intruder in the theatre. After the theatre's sirens went off, alerting the worker to the presence of an intruder, he was unable to find anyone in the theatre.
Someone in here? Hello?
However, he explains that he did hear the sound of piano keys tinkling in another room. Going to investigate, the uploader warns the potential intruder that no one's supposed to be in the theatre.
You're not supposed to be in here.
The unseen figure plays a few notes on the piano in response, scaring the uploader, who is now certain he's not alone. Still, he calls out to the intruder again.
Who is it?
Suddenly, the lights turn off and he's confronted with the discordant and menacing notes from the piano. The clip ends with the uploader understandably worried, running away from the theatre from whatever meddling intruder awaited him on the other side of the room. In late 2019, a group of friends attended a night market in the Philippines. They huddled together to snap a memory of their trip to the bustling market. Nothing seemed amiss until one of the group members reviewed the photo. There on the right-hand side is a small child's face jutting out on a strange angle. The face is pale and slightly out of focus. It doesn't match the skin tones of the rest of the group at all. No one there that day remembers seeing a small child in the area, let alone right next to the group when the photo was taken. Some viewers have taken the pale features of the child as a sign that it's not of this world, some ghostly visage attempting to make contact. This video, uploaded to YouTube by user Luke Gustafson, seems to show some mysterious activity. Just as the video begins, a small vacuum in the corner of the room is seen rocking back and forth without anyone present to cause it to move. Then a rain of particles, which some viewers claim to be ghostly orbs, float by the camera. While the two events have been linked by viewers, not all believe their origins to be supernatural in nature. Some viewers argue that the shaking of the vacuum and the falling debris are likely the result of an earthquake or other naturally occurring phenomenon. Still, the uploader argues that this is absolute proof of poltergeists. Many supernatural enthusiasts are quick to note the popularity of floating orbs in footage such as this, as the orbs seem to congregate in spots that are notoriously haunted. Orbs typically show up on film in either still photographs or videos, where they go seemingly unnoticed by those around them. While some skeptics attribute these orbs to specks of dust or pollen flying in front of the camera lens, others cite their odd behaviour and concentration around haunted sites as proof of their supernatural nature. So what do you think? Earthquake and dust, or poltergeist and orbs? Love to hear your thoughts on this one in the comments section below. The ghost footage submitted to the GMA Public Affairs YouTube channel by one Leah Pineda Fuentes claims to show the spirit of a bride's deceased mother. As the text before the photo states, "Just wanted to share this photo taken last August 2016. It was my sister-in-law's wedding. Her mum died in 2007. I was taking a picture, but I felt something else. I'm arranging a picture to post on FB. I was shocked by what I saw. Mama was there a long time ago." When zooming in on the picture, there's a mysterious figure partially hidden by a bouquet of flowers. While the photo is blurry and hard to make out in any great detail, the family insists it resembles the bride's deceased mother. As Fuentes pointed out, it would seem her sister-in-law can rest assured knowing her mother is likely still watching over her during the big transitions in her life, which is surely more of a comforting thought than anything else. This unsettling photo was submitted to Reddit by user Red Desert Cowboy. The uploader claims the photo was taken in 2012 during a demolition of the old East Junior High School in Wyoming. A woman on site was documenting the demolition of the historic building when one of the photos seemed to capture something more than a record of posterity. In the photo, a figure stands among the rubble. It appears to be a woman in a white dress. Her head is bent on an unnatural angle. A second, lightened version of the photo shows the figure in more detail. Many of the comments on Reddit made the connection between the frightful image and the bent neck lady, featured in Netflix's horror series Haunting of Hill House. The uploader claims the old building dates back to around the 1920s, and that it was used as a brothel for a period of time. It then became a home of education where students often reported seeing ghostly figures in darkened areas of the hallways. There's no indication of who this woman in white might be. There appears to be no deaths linked to the property, so why then are there so many reports of ghostly activity? Until further information comes to hand, this freaky bent neck lady will have to remain an unsettling mystery. Viewers beware, these freaky clips uploaded to TikTok by user Harry McClary are enough to keep you up all night. The first clip opens in the middle of the night. The uploader is awoken by his Alexa assistant.
A deliberate attempt to contact the spirit of
Alexa seems keen to give the definition of a seance, completely unprompted.
A deliberate attempt to contact the spirit of a deceased person is known as a seance.
Alexa gives a creepy and unnatural laugh once she's done. She then maniacally tells the uploader she has a skill he might like.
I have a skill you might like.
While it's not out of the ordinary for the assistant to suggest a set of actions, it's odd to do so unprompted. Laughing still, the door to the bedroom begins swinging open and closed as the colours change rapidly.
Wanna try it?
The unit continues to terrorise the uploader as the short clip ends. The second clip begins with a knocking sound coming from the basement. A dog can also be heard barking in the background. Clearly scared but needing to know what they're dealing with, the uploader attempts to venture down to the basement. They're heard saying hello to the source of the banging.
Hello?
The banging stops. However, a scraping sound follows nearly immediately after, as though whatever's been making the sound was quickly scrambling up the stairs towards the uploader. If you watch it again, it actually sounds like footsteps running up the stairs towards the camera holder.
Oh my god!
The dog continues to bark as the uploader shouts, "Oh my god," just as the clip ends. This series of clips seems to show something seriously wrong with the uploader's home.
Oh my god!
YouTube channel Wolfcry Weather and News seems to have stumbled upon jinn activity in these freaky clips. Making their way through an abandoned hospital, the ghost hunter in the video remains brave in the face of a series of odd occurrences. All is quiet until just after the 1 minute mark when strange noises can be heard. The man asks if there's anyone there and demands the jinn show itself, to no avail.
إذا في أحد جن أو إنس يثبت حضوره.
He continues to pray as he makes his way through the hospital, seemingly certain he's in the presence of a less than friendly jinn. Still, the man seems to believe in the power of his prayers.
وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله.
When a chair seemingly moves out of nowhere, the man can't help but let the distress be heard in his voice. When the chair moves once more, it seems clear the jinn is growing increasingly angered by the man's continued prayers. The man makes his way through the hospital. His nerves appear to become more and more frayed. He makes sure to shout his prayers louder as a door slams out of nowhere. He enters a room at random and sees a window slide open without anyone visible near it. The man is clearly near his breaking point as a loud, unnatural screeching or scraping sound can be heard coming from somewhere in the hospital. The sound continues as the man is finally spooked enough to make a run for it. He lets the jinn know on his way out that he was far from defeated. Assuring the jinn that he would be back, one can't help but think the jinn would be far less passive the next time he visits. The mystery behind the next of these freaky clips, posted to TikTok by user Mysterious Unknowns Exposed, may never likely be resolved. The clip begins with a man seated on a bench near some woods. He's talking to the camera, which is seemingly why this event was recorded in the first place. Another man appears to be walking in the woods behind him. Something seems off immediately, as the cameraman zooms in on the second man quite quickly. The man's presence becomes much more ominous. The man continues walking. As he approaches a thin and barren tree, however, he's not seen emerging from the other side. Too thin to disguise him, this immediately raises a red flag for the man behind the camera, who goes to investigate. He pans around the entire tree only to find the man has disappeared completely. He looks around the entire area, but still there's no sign of the man who just disappeared. Without any rhyme or reason, the man seems to have made himself known only to scare those around him. Seemingly unworried about being spotted, he almost seems to be taunting the viewer by allowing him to glimpse his disappearance. Still, without the man anywhere in sight, it's likely the man in question will never get an answer as to the mysterious man's identity, and neither will the viewer. There are few legends so enduring as that of the cryptid Bigfoot. Explorers everywhere are keen to catch a glimpse of the creature, proving its existence once and for all. Uploaded to YouTube by user Sunny Vater, one can only imagine the uploader's shock at seemingly finding proof of Bigfoot's existence entirely by accident. The uploader explains that they had been hunting elk when they caught the footage in question. Noticing that they were near a large moving animal, the hunter tracked what they thought would prove to be a family of elk. Instead, they managed to capture this footage, which appears to show a large Bigfoot-like creature snuggling a smaller one on its chest. At first, it's hard to see any sign of the creature. However, upon closer inspection, you can see a large clump of hair hugged up against the tree. Miraculously, the creature appears to be simply taking a moment to rest, there in the middle of Banff National Park. With the large furry creature clearly in sight, it's unlikely the footage has been faked in any way. All that's left for viewers is to decide just what it is they're looking at. An odd angle of a known animal, some otherwise unknown creature, or definitive proof of Bigfoot's existence. Some cryptid enthusiasts think this clip is some of the most definitive evidence of Bigfoot's actual existence yet. They believe it's done more for the cryptid's credibility than some of the other more sensationalized clips attempting to prove its existence. Posted to Reddit by user Alien Alien, this seems to be one in a series of freaky events occurring in a former hospital turned office building. Providing context for the clip, the uploader explains that this event was far from isolated. With odd occurrences having taken place before the clip was posted, the uploader is sure the office is the scene of some distressing haunting. The uploader first explains that the owner of the building has often imagined the figure of a man standing in the corner of the office when no one should have been around. Still, the office manager believed he was simply being paranoid rather than the victim of a haunting. It's likely this clip played a part in convincing him otherwise. Roughly a week later, the police were alerted to what would otherwise be considered some sort of break-in or suspicious activity. A door had opened in the building, but when the police arrived, they saw no one around. It wasn't until that event that the surveillance video was checked, revealing this clip. In it, one can clearly see what appears to be the blinds on one door's window opening by themselves. Next, the door slowly begins to creak open with no one around or captured in the video. The odd and careful activity seems to have confirmed the office manager's worst fears, that he was perhaps not truly alone when he pictured the man standing in the corner. He's likely the victim of something much more sinister than a trick of the imagination. The last of these freaky clips, posted to Facebook by user Kayleen Bowman, is just as inexplicable as some of the others. What's been dubbed a glitch in the simulation, viewers are left to come to their own conclusion. Seen floating in mid-air appears to be a dark object. The object seems to be suspended from nowhere with no wires or structures nearby. On closer inspection, it appears to be a bird frozen in place mid-air. A still photo was also taken so we can get a better, more focused look. Floating in the air and completely still, the object almost seems to be levitating as if by magic. Either it's something supernatural and mysterious, or the aforementioned glitch in the Matrix. The clip is nevertheless enough to shake even the most die-hard skeptics. So what do you think's going on in this clip? Is it just a bird suspended on some thin, unseen wire, or is it truly a glitch in the Matrix? Love to hear your opinions on this one in the comments section below. This video, captured by Russell Elliott and uploaded to the YouTube channel Wake Up Project, shows the possibility of what mysterious things could be lurking around at nighttime. The clip starts with footage of a group of horses standing in an old barn. The camera holder seems to cautiously investigate the area as if something had previously startled them. Suddenly, they spot something in the darkness. The alien-like creature stands silently looking into the camera with large dark eyes. The camera holder then appears to quickly turn in fear at the realization of what they've just seen. The footage was supposedly captured in the Black Forest area of El Paso, Colorado, a place known for tales of mysterious figures and unusual sightings. The region gained notoriety in 1991 after a couple who had recently purchased a home in the area started to experience strange events, like ghostly sounds and inexplicable flashing lights. Could this footage of the creature hiding in the barn be related somehow? Perhaps the lights that have previously been seen in the area come from an alien craft piloted by similar beings. If this is the case, then what is their fascination with the Black Forest area? Until further information comes to hand, we can do little more than speculate. Today's episode's in collaboration with Frostmare. They'll be helping out with some of the narration. We'll talk about their channel and what they do a little later in the video, but for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy.
This video, uploaded to the YouTube channel Join Our Band of Belief, was supposedly sent to them by a viewer. It shows a UFO sighting captured from the window of a plane during a flight to Massachusetts. The footage begins uneventfully as the passenger seems to be simply filming the scenery below. However, the camera soon captures what appears to be a plane flying past in the opposite direction. Suddenly, another object speeds through the sky, easily overtaking the other plane.
Whoa, did you see that?
Even when the footage is slowed down, the speeding object moves so fast that its shape remains unclear. It simply appears like a blur as it goes whizzing through the sky. A young boy's voice can be heard in the background exclaiming, "Wow, did you see that?"
Whoa, did you see that?
While several viewers have jokingly suggested that the object could be a superhero, others have noted that its extraordinary speed is unlike any craft we currently have on Earth.
Whoa, did you see that?
Was this UFO really of extraterrestrial origin? Or is there another way to explain what we've just witnessed? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below.
Whoa, did you see that?
This footage, seemingly filmed by a roadside security camera, was uploaded to the YouTube channel Chica Leguala. While there's little accompanying information, the clip was caught on the Wessex Way stretch of the A338 in the southwest of England. The clip begins as a white van can be seen driving away from the camera. Then, just as the van passes by the second of the two light poles, a strange-looking creature runs across the road. It leaps over the center barrier and disappears to the right of screen, narrowly avoiding a collision with the oncoming car. While many viewers have suggested that the footage actually shows a deer scampering across the road, others are not so sure. They note the creature's grey colour and apparent lack of fur as evidence that this could be something else. Furthermore, the creature's movements seem to more closely resemble that of a dog rather than a deer. In the video's description, the uploader suggests that the creature might actually be an alien. The idea that it could even be a werewolf has also been explored. While there may very well be a logical explanation to this video, that hasn't stopped internet sleuths from re-examining the footage time and time again. Unfortunately, until further information comes to light, this video will have to remain a mystery, at least for the time being.
It's certainly understandable to fear ghostly figures watching you from a darkened nook or cranny. The idea that something supernatural is viewing you as you go about your daily routine is enough to send chills down your spine. This video, uploaded to TikTok by Dom the Ghost, seems to show just this very scenario. A mysterious figure stands outside the kitchen window. Those inside appear to grow increasingly concerned. The camera holder moves in for a closer inspection. However, when they open the window, there's nothing there. They quickly check both ends of the balcony, but the figure seems to have completely disappeared. While this video is certainly creepy up until this point, it's what happens next that will really spook you. Take a look. As the camera holder turns back into the room, they focus on a young girl. Behind her stands a grey, ghostly figure. It appears to be a boy. However, the camera moves away too quickly to be certain. The camera pans towards the girl a second time, but now the eerie figure has vanished. Viewers have been understandably concerned by this footage, and some have even questioned if the family has now let a ghost into their house, as the mysterious figure seems to disappear just as the camera holder opens the window. Some believe that the ghost might have gained access to the family's home. Another theory that has been put forward is that the ghostly figure first seen in the window was actually never outside, and that the shape was a reflection of the pale young boy already standing in the house. What do you think this video shows? Could the figure be a mischievous poltergeist looking to get inside the family's house? Or is it possible that it might be the ghost of someone who died inside the property? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below.
Nursing homes prove a popular setting for paranormal enthusiasts looking to capture creepy ghost footage. In this video, YouTuber Bella Folletti has recorded something quite unusual. In the video's description, the uploader mentions that several staff members believe that the dining room of the nursing home is haunted by a deceased resident. The uploader also claims that they visited the property with their ghost hunting partner, and that the pair conducted both EVP and K2 readings of the area. This footage was captured by surveillance camera in the nursing home's dining room. Take a look. A few seconds into the clip, a white transparent shape appears and begins making its way around the room. At one point in the footage, the uploader notes that the mysterious shape appears to be sitting in one of the chairs. It then stands up, moves around the table, and sits down again. While videos such as this can be often explained away by insects walking over the lens, this one certainly seems different. Firstly, there's the story told by the staffers of a ghost thought to haunt this very room. Secondly, the shape does at times appear to move around with purpose, almost as if it remembers the layout of the room. While there's no way to definitively prove what we're seeing is actually a ghost, it's a very eerie video, one that very well may show supernatural activity in this old nursing home.
Uploaded to the YouTube channel UFOness, little is known about the origins of this mysterious video. Appearing to be filmed on a cell phone from the window of a passenger plane, the clip shows a strange object hovering some distance away. The UFO appears to undulate up and down. However, it's unclear as to how much of this apparent movement can be attributed to the object itself, or rather the unsteadiness of the recording device. The craft certainly resembles the classic depiction of a UFO, cylindrical and disc-like, with a silvery metallic coloring. With so many sightings of unidentified craft matching this description over the years, one can't help but wonder if it's more than a mere coincidence. The object continues to hover for some time before it suddenly vanishes from view. However, if you slow the footage down, you can see the UFO doesn't actually disappear at all. It flies off at such speed that it makes it almost undetectable to the human eye. Who do you think has been captured in this video? Could it be an extraterrestrial spacecraft? Or is this object something else entirely? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below.
There are certain locations that seem to attract spirits like magnets. Typically, these spots have tragic histories steeped in suffering and death. When YouTuber ZTube Family visited the town of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, they captured some compelling photos and videos of what is sometimes called the most haunted town in America. The owner of the channel, Melissa Z, shared this haunting evidence with us. Gettysburg was the site of one of the bloodiest battles of the American Civil War. Over the course of 3 days in 1863, approximately 10,000 people lost their lives and 30,000 more were injured. With so many casualties, it's unsurprising that visitors to Gettysburg frequently report spotting ghosts around the battlefield. The hauntings don't end there, however. Injured soldiers were housed in buildings all around the city, and it's thought that the spirits of some of these unfortunate men linger in the places where they spent their final hours. Some think the spirits are peaceful, while others retain auras of anger and pain left over from their experiences in the war. Gettysburg truly is a town of the dead. The family that captured these photos visited Gettysburg in May of 2021. During their stay, the family visited a haunted location each night in hopes of capturing ghostly images. They weren't disappointed. On one evening, they hunted for spirits near Little Round Top, the site of one of the most famous skirmishes during the Battle of Gettysburg. This skirmish accounted for over 1,500 of the battle's total casualties. The family took numerous photos around the site. They later discovered something rather chilling in one of the photos. A mysterious black mass can be seen blocking the pathway in front of them. It almost blends into the surrounding darkness, but close inspection shows that there's definitely a dark shadow in the shape of a slightly rounded triangle, standing out against the night sky. The mass is even more visible in an equalized version of the photo. A noise analysis of the photo seems to indicate that it hasn't been altered in any way either. Some paranormal experts believe that some spirits are unable to appear in corporeal form, as it requires a high amount of energy. They believe it's more common for spirits to appear as shadows or balls of light. Often, these indications of a ghostly presence can't be seen with the naked eye, but show up clearly in photos and videos. So could this creepy black mass indicate the presence of one of the many victims of the Battle of Gettysburg? You never know what will happen during a night out on the town. Redditor Swedish Blueberry certainly didn't expect to come home with this eerie photo, while sharing some drinks with a friend at a local park late one night. While the Redditor and her friend were having a good time in the park, they decided to snap a selfie. However, it seems as if the park wasn't quite as empty as they originally thought. When they looked at the photo later, they noticed a figure in the background that they're sure wasn't there when they took the photo. There appears to be a woman with pale skin walking down the path behind them. Some viewers think that she's probably just an ordinary woman that the girls didn't notice. However, one would think you would remember a strange pale lady walking through a park late at night. Although the Redditor admits to being under the influence of alcohol when they took the photo, this sight would be hard to miss. So what's actually going on in this photo? Does it show a perfectly ordinary woman that the Redditor and her friend failed to notice? Or were they being followed by someone or something? Look at the photo closely and judge for yourself. Cemeteries are a common spot for ghost hunters to try their luck at capturing evidence of ghostly activity. Sydney Southwest paranormal investigators believe they hit the jackpot when they visited St Bartholomew's Cemetery. St Bartholomew's Cemetery in Sydney, Australia is said to be haunted by numerous spirits. A few of the graves date back to 1841, with some even containing Sydney's first colonists. Stories say that John Pond, the former gravedigger and warden of the cemetery, still lingers there long after his death. Pond's spirit is said to be relatively friendly, unlike the ghost of Benjamin Horlin, a former sea captain who is also buried in the cemetery. Horlin's grave is the site of the majority of paranormal events in the cemetery, and not all of them are pleasant. Horlin apparently takes great offense to anyone laughing near his grave, causing those who offend him to feel sick or momentarily paralyzed. Some people even claim they've lost consciousness at the gravesite. Others say that Horlin's ghost sometimes appears walking around the graveyard, distinguished by his unusual gait. However, it's another spirit who caught the public's attention when this bizarre photograph was published by the group Sydney Southwest Paranormal Investigators. In the image, we see a translucent white figure standing near a headstone. The figure has a clear human shape but is completely devoid of features. A local historian who feels a strong aversion to visiting the area of the cemetery where this photo was taken believes this could be the ghost of Thomas James Willis, whose young daughter Emily is buried there. Emily died at the age of 3, and she and her father seem to be confined to the cemetery in the afterlife. According to the historian, Emily is a spirit that loves to play tricks on visitors, often darting towards the nearby highway to make visitors think that a child's in danger. So could this photo show the spirit of Willis looking for his missing daughter Emily? Or perhaps it's the spirit of the surly sea captain Benjamin Horlin, or even gravedigger John Pond. With so many reported hauntings and first-hand accounts of paranormal happenings, it seems this mysterious figure could indeed be a sign of the afterlife. When Slaptam viewer Gordon M snapped a photo to commemorate a fun night at a concert, he never expected to end up with a ghostly photo. However, it seems spirits have a way of surprising you. The photo was taken in May of 2017 when Gordon and his family were headed to see Iron Maiden play in concert. They found an out-of-the-way spot to capture the photo where the rest of the crowd wouldn't be in the background. Nothing about the spot seemed unusual. However, when they looked at the photo later, they noticed something rather strange: an unexplained person standing behind them. The figure appears to be a man wearing a red jacket. He's looking down towards the ground. However, Gordon and his son are absolutely certain that there was no one behind them when they took the photo. The figure is clearly very close to them, so it would have been difficult for him to sneak up behind them without them noticing. Even at the outdoor venue, they surely would have heard footsteps approaching from behind. So does this image show a photobombing concert goer, or something far more sinister? Love to get your thoughts in the comments down below. When the Retford ghost hunters visited the Sheffield General Cemetery in the UK, they walked away with compelling evidence of the cemetery's status as a haunted location. The Sheffield General Cemetery has been in existence since 1836, established during the country's Victorian era. The graveyard is filled with granite monuments and sculptures that lend an eerie air to the allegedly haunted location. When the ghost hunters visited, they took numerous photos so that they could examine them later for indications of spiritual activity. They weren't expecting to see something quite so compelling. In one of the photos, a white ghostly figure stands out starkly against the night sky. The figure appears to be a woman in a flowing white dress hovering just above a grave. The woman in white is a common ghostly manifestation typically believed to be the spirit of a woman who died amidst tragedy or heartbreak. This particular woman in white is believed to be the spirit of Catherine Parker, a merchant's wife who died by suicide in 1844. Her husband died without a will, leaving Catherine and her 5 children destitute. After years of struggling to care for them alone, the stress and anxiety became too much for Catherine. She hanged herself and became one of the first to be buried in the Sheffield General Cemetery. Numerous visitors to the cemetery claim to have spotted a ghostly figure garbed in a white dress floating about the gravestones late at night. Catherine's life was certainly filled with heartache, making her a likely suspect for the mysterious woman in white. So could this photo really show Catherine's tormented spirit? Let me know what you think down below. This photo from Redditor Beetlemuse seems to show something inexplicable and has caused quite a stir in the paranormal community. The photo was taken during a tour of a museum. Next to an exhibit enclosed in a glass case, we see a young man walking past. Everything about the photo seems relatively normal on first glance. However, if you look closely at his feet, you'll notice something highly unusual. There appears to be 3 feet instead of 2. The black sole of his left shoe is visible in one spot, and an entire shoe of a completely different colour can be seen in front of it. So what's going on in this strange photo? Some viewers believe that the shadows on the floor don't match with the image that we see, suggesting that it could be photoshopped. However, others point out that a ghostly appendage may not cast a normal shadow. Another possibility is a photo glitch. Because the man was clearly moving when the photo was taken, it's possible that the camera caught his foot in 2 different positions, creating the weird effect that we see. However, a close examination of the shoe seems to rule out this possibility. First of all, the ghostly foot is wearing a completely different shoe altogether. Additionally, the position of the mysterious 3rd foot would be impossible based on the man's position. If the camera glitched and captured a previous or subsequent step, the 3rd foot should appear further behind or in front of the man. So what do you think's going on in this strange photo? Until further information comes to hand, it will have to remain a mystery. Abandoned houses, such as the residence featured in this photo from imager user ARG6531, are another great place to hunt for spirits. Sometimes a ghostly apparition might make an appearance, even when you aren't expecting it. This photo was taken when the user's friends snuck into an abandoned house in their town to explore. They took numerous photos during their visit, including this photo from the attic. On first glance, there doesn't seem to be anything unusual. There are only a few items scattered around the abandoned attic, nothing to indicate a ghostly presence. However, when the explorer later shared the images with friends, they noticed something they didn't see before. It seems that the explorer wasn't alone in the abandoned house. If you look closely at the small bench on the left-hand side of the photo, there seems to be a translucent figure watching them. The figure is almost entirely transparent, but seems to be a young boy seated on the bench, with his head turned towards the camera. Some viewers believe he has an old-fashioned hairstyle and clothing, so who knows how long he could have been residing in this old attic. Is this ghostly boy for real, or is the photo a fake? Without more information, it's impossible to determine who this lonely spirit could be. For now, this ghostly presence remains an unsolved mystery. The following video was posted to TikTok by a man named Carlos Ruiz. It's some security footage taken at a gym in an unknown part of Colombia. At first, nothing seems all that unusual about the clip, as we see a man preparing to exercise. As the camera pans to the left, however, we can see a few cables on one of the exercise machines moving on their own.
No, mire, la luz. Fue fruta. Mire. Y de esto hay una segunda toma. Ahorita le muestro la segunda toma y hay cosas que no.
Now, keep an eye on the medicine ball in the bottom right-hand corner.
Mira eso.
Uy, ¿eso qué pasó? ¿Por qué eso se mueve?
From here, things take a turn for the worse.
Es una energía muy mala.
¡Ay, Dios mío! ¿Qué le pasó?
Mamá, mire.
No, Dios, no, no, eso no es normal.
Sí, yo sé
eso no es normal,
Sí,
no.
ya sé.
No.
As you can see, something seems to grab the man.
Dios mío, ¿qué le pasó?
He falls over, but his right leg stays in the air as if something's holding on to it.
Es una energía muy mala.
¡Ay, Dios mío! ¿Qué le pasó?
Mamá, mire.
No, Dios, no.
Frightened, he runs away.
Sí, yo sé
Eso no es normal, no.
Ya sé.
No.
A second camera managed to capture the incident.
Hay unas cosas,
Dios mío.
mira mamá, digamos al inicio se ve, vea, las cuerdas ahí, pero pille eso no lo vimos en la primera toma, o sea, eso no se vio en la primera
Ahí
toma.
se ve más.
O
Está
sea,
jalando,
estas son
está
unas,
jalando.
Again, we can see the man fall over and something appears to grab his leg.
está abierta, o sea, sí, podemos decir que es el aire, pero entonces ¿cómo explicamos la caída? Ahí la ola se mueve, ahí la ola.
Sí, no, Dios mío, eso ya no es normal. No, y mire como, no, no es terrible, no,
Sí,
no, Dios mío.
Entonces,
Hay que pedir al
This angle shows that there doesn't appear to be any wires or that the video's been manipulated in any way.
mío, eso ya no es normal. No, y mire como, no, no es terrible, no, Dios mío.
entonces,
Hay que pedir a alguien
The man even runs to the gym's reception area to report what's just happened.
o alguien que sepa el tema, por favor, dejarlo en los comentarios o no sé, alguien que nos pueda decir qué pasó.
Naturally, these two clips have since gone viral, racking up millions of views with thousands of comments chiming in trying to solve the mystery. The majority of people have been shocked at just how genuine the footage appears. However, skeptics said it has to be wires or CGI.
Buscamos la caída, ahí la ola se mueve, ahí la ola.
Sí, no, Dios mío, eso ya no es normal. No, y mire como, no, no es terrible, no, Dios mío.
Entonces,
Hay que pedir a alguien que
So what do you think's been captured in this gym in Colombia? Is it all just a well-orchestrated hoax, or are we witnessing something paranormal? Love to hear your ideas in the comment section down below.
échalo ahí, mira eso, mira eso.
Uy, ¿eso qué pasó? ¿Por qué eso se
Y esa
mueve?
vaina es pesadísima, eso es pesadísimo.
Sí.
Sí, parece eso es una energía muy mala.
¡Ay, Dios mío! ¿Qué le pasó?
Mamá, mire.
No, Dios, no, no, eso no es normal.
Sí, yo sé
Eso
que-
no es normal,
Sí,
no.
ya sé.
No.
The Norwood Hotel, located in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, is by all means a normal hotel that you would stay in for a few nights and not think anything of it. But this video, uploaded by popular paranormal investigation team, the Paranormies, proves that the hotel isn't as normal as it seems. There's a room in the hotel, room 313 to be exact, that's allegedly haunted. It's had many strange occurrences throughout the years. The Paranormies team heard a story about a woman named Christina that had stayed in room 313 at the Norwood Hotel back in 2008. She was in town for a convention, was only planning on staying at the hotel for a few nights. The first evening she was there, she awoke in the middle of the night, unable to move. She said she could see a strange man in the corner of the room, grinning at her. He put his finger to his lips and told her to shush. Unable to move, Christina could do nothing but watch this strange man staring at her. 6 hours later, she woke up ill and violently threw up. There was no sign of an intruder, and the door was still double locked. Startled, Christina called her boyfriend to explain what had happened. He thought perhaps she had suffered an episode of sleep paralysis and that the man was just a hallucination. The following night, Christina had a dream that a man was on fire floating just outside her hotel window. She woke with a fright just as the phone in her room rang. It was her boyfriend in hysterics saying that he had just had a dream that someone broke into her hotel room and did awful things to her. Freaked out, Christina grabbed her keys and left the room. She slept in her car for a few hours till the sun came up. Wanting to leave immediately, Christina headed back to the hotel to grab her things and drive home. When she arrived back at the hotel, it appeared as though the door to her room had been tampered with. The window was wide open and a few of her things were missing. She rang her boyfriend to explain what had happened and to thank him for calling the previous night. Otherwise, she may have stayed in the room for the entire evening. Confused, her boyfriend said that he didn't call her. They both checked their call history list and sure enough, no calls were made. Christina doesn't know how to explain what happened that night in room 313. In order to see for themselves how truly haunted the room is, the paranormies decided to check into the hotel for the night to conduct a series of experiments. And as you'll see, things get increasingly more terrifying as the night goes on. During one section of the video, the team sets up a doll that's motion activated, having just changed the batteries. But whenever the cameraman waves his hand in front of the doll, strangely enough, nothing happens.
The doll won't go off. Jordan,
What?
come look.
The cameraman says that the doll is normally motion activated and can't explain why it isn't working properly.
Wow. Usually she doesn't shut up.
What? You walk in front of it. Okay, hang on. Stay there. Flip it around. I want to just keep this in one shot to see.
Well,
What?
there she goes. Whoa.
But she's not making any noise.
She's not making any noise. That is weird.
She's not saying anything. Whoa. She's just not saying anything anymore.
A couple of minutes later, the crew decides to bring an SLS device into the bathroom. Take a look at what they captured.
Get some light here. Whoa.
What is this now?
Hello.
This special device detects that there's a presence in the bathroom.
That is really creepy.
Yeah, I'm
Just sitting
looking
in the bathroom.
behind there.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there. That's just like it's like sitting in the corner of the tub. You hiding?
From here, the crew set up a series of motion-activated balls and spread them across the hotel room. And sure enough, one of them turns on all by itself.
You can touch any one of those. Obviously, he's just dead. Oh, whoa.
Whoa.
Thank you. I didn't. Scared?
Scare.
I did not expect that.
But perhaps the creepiest incident of the night happens when one of the crew members, named Jordan, walks past the mirror that is adorning the wall. Take a look at what was captured.
Let's check it out.
Heavy?
Although he didn't notice it at the time, if you look closely, you can see that Jordan doesn't have a reflection in the mirror when he walks by.
Heavy?
At first, you might think it's just the angle the camera's on, However, just moments later, another member of the team walks by the mirror and clearly has a reflection.
I'm not exactly sure where it's coming from. It almost sounds like, yeah, like water.
The camera's showing the exact same angle as before. Later that night, while the crew members are sleeping, their REM pod and K2 devices proceed to give them an unexpected wake-up call. While these devices being set off is creepy enough, something else happens in the room that is a little more unsettling. Let's watch it again, but this time keep an eye on the right of frame. As you can see, a shadowy figure seems to get on top of Jordan on the right. So given Christina's first-hand account and the bizarre video evidence that the Paranormies team captured, it would appear something very unusual is happening in room 313, but just what the root cause is remains unknown.
Heavy.
A woman from Barrowfield, Glasgow, named Maxine Hughes was enjoying a typical day at home, relaxing and spending time with her 2 children. Maxine says that during her day, her partner was checking the surveillance camera footage outside their home, which is when they spotted something quite chilling in broad daylight. Take a look. What appears to be a strange black mass slowly moves its way across Maxine's yard, before eventually disappearing without a trace. Maxine was so freaked out by what was captured on the security camera footage that she had to call a priest to bless her home from evil spirits. Maxine's neighbour, Debbie Michael-John, saw the video as well, and she too agrees that something is definitely not right. The clip understandably put the entire neighbourhood on high alert, as most of the town struggled to explain the strange floating black mass. Despite thousands of people watching the clip, there's been no logical explanation for the sighting. Simon Newcomb's YouTube channel currently has 2 videos published to it, one of which displays drone footage that he took while on a brisk day in January of 2020. The other video, however, proves to be a little more mysterious. This particular video was not filmed by Simon himself, but rather a friend of his daughter's, and for the first little while it seems as though they're having an average rainy day outside. The group are walking through Wistman's Woods, located in Dartmoor, Devon, England. It's said to be a place of much interest in the area. Although Wistman's Wood has never been 100% proven to be haunted, the origins of its name are quite interesting and creepy. The name Wistman's Wood is said to derive from the old British dialect word wisht, which means eerie, uncanny, or haunted. Legend has it that a pack of hellhounds once roamed the woods. They had blood-red eyes, enormous fangs, and an insatiable appetite for human flesh. The woods themselves look like something out of a fairy tale. The trees are all twisted and gnarled. There are boulders carved with ancient symbols scattered around the park. It's within this mysterious setting that the following video was captured. Take a look.
Pissing it down. These 2 are doing my head in. It's getting dark. It's really cold. I've no idea where the dog is. What?
It can be hard to spot at first, but at around the 11-second mark, just behind the camera holder, a strange shadow can be seen ducking behind a log.
doing my head in. It's getting dark. It's really cold. I've no idea where the dog is. What?
Here it is again in slow motion. It's hard to say what exactly this dark figure is, but given the ancient history of the woods and its haunted reputation, one's mind does wander into the realm of the paranormal.
It's getting dark. It's really cold. I've no idea where the dog is. What?
If you're well versed with horror folklore and urban legends, I'm sure by this point you've heard of the infamous La Llorona, or the Weeping Woman. This entity exists in Latin American folklore, and is a spirit who allegedly roams waterfront areas mourning her deceased children who tragically drowned. If you hear loud screeching noises anywhere outside, it's believed that you may have accidentally encountered La Llorona herself, and Nathan Channel on YouTube might have been one of those unlucky people. In the video, Nathan, who's a security guard at an undisclosed building, is walking around the area late at night when he starts to hear some awful sounds in the distance. The guard explores the area but can't seem to find the source of the strange crying sounds.
No se puede ver nada, pero sí se alcanza a escuchar. Oigan. Yo estoy aquí en mi trabajo.
So is this the infamous La Llorona herself? Or is it someone in genuine distress? If it is, why can't he find a single person anywhere nearby?
Oigan.
The Lamb and Lion pub, located in High Petergate, York, seems on the outside to be an average pub. However, on the inside, there's something a little more eerie taking place in the Grade 2 heritage-listed building that dates all the way back to the late 18th century. One night, pub owner Lee David Smith was reviewing security tapes when he noticed something on the CCTV cameras that shocked him. Take a look. Upon first glance, the security camera video appears to contain nothing out of the ordinary. As we watch, an employee cleans up various tables in the pub. But if you look in the corridor at the end of the dining area, you can make out what appears to be a small child. Lee says that at the time of the incident, the employee had no idea that anyone was there, but when he called her over to take a look at the footage, she was absolutely petrified. There were certainly no children around when the footage was taken. Lee also says he doesn't necessarily believe in ghosts, but admits this particular incident is making him less of a skeptic. To this day, Lee and other pub employees have never gotten to the bottom of what exactly happened that day. Some locals believe that a child passed away on the premises, and that this is the child's spirit trapped inside the old pub. As always, I'll throw this out to you, the viewer. What do you think's been captured in this strange CCTV footage? Love to hear your theories in the comment section down below. TikToker Diego Spickers seems to be experiencing a haunting of a potential ghostly girl right in his own home. In the first video, we see the TikToker showing us a child's playhouse that he has in his home. And as you'll see, there seems to be something very wrong with it. Watch.
Es re lindo, tiene ventanita y todo, pille.
When we first see the playhouse, there appears to be nothing in there.
Para nada, weón.
He then looks through the window on the side, and now there seems to be something inside of it. We can see a blanket that appears to be covering someone, perhaps a small child. The TikToker moves back to the entrance, though the blanketed child is no longer there. Diego uploaded a picture to his Instagram account Spickers. Here we can see the child's playhouse again, except this time the creepy sighting is right outside the window. Here we can see what appears to be a small girl peering inside. At first it looks like a normal enough picture, but the following TikTok video gives a little more context. In this clip, the TikToker proves that he lives a few floors up from the ground, meaning this girl couldn't have been standing and looking in the window. He also shows us that he doesn't have a balcony, suggesting that the little girl could indeed be a ghost. Also, if we watch that clip again more closely, as he walks into the room, you can see a face in the window. But as we see, the homeowner lives several floors up, making it impossible for someone to be outside the window.
No es así, miren. Yo vivo en un quinto piso. Sería algo ilógico.
In the final video, the TikToker is sitting in his living room watching some TV when something super unsettling happens. Watch.
¿Es el cuarto? Sí, hágale, hágale. ¡Uy, marica, venga! ¿Qué hicieron rápido? No, marica, perro, lo grabé, venga.
We can see what looks to be a child's hand pushing the door open on the cabinet just under the TV. The man rushes forward, but there's nothing there.
¿Es el cuarto? Sí, hágale, hágale. ¡Uy, marica, venga! ¿Qué hicieron rápido? No, marica, perro, lo grabé.
There's a lot in these clips to suggest that there's something way more sinister going on here. How could the girl be looking through the window without any support? And how could the hand have disappeared from the cabinet so quickly?
Marica, perro, lo grabé.
I'd love to hear your theories on this one in the comment section down below.
Es re lindo, tiene ventanita y todo, pille. ¿Qué es esa mierda? Uy, no.
Some people who come across strange sightings or hear strange sounds are brave enough to take a look. And that includes a few kids in a TikTok video shared by HolaPeter010506H. While one video is scary enough, the kids seem to have spotted the same figure in a whole separate incident. In the first clip, one of the kids is filming inside his grandparents' house. He explains that the lights have gone out in the place and that the adults have gone out to buy some candles.
Espérense. Y mi mamá y mi abuela se fueron al Oxxo a comprar velas por eso, por lo que pasó de que se fue la luz.
The kids hear some strange noises and decide to see what's happening outside.
Estamos aquí en la casa de mi bisabuela, se fue la... ¿Qué es eso?
The camera operator moves to the screen door. Take a look at what happens.
Quiero hacer pipí, pero el baño está allá. Y mi abuela nos dijo que cuidáramos... Mi abuelo nos dijo...
Watching that again, on the left-hand side of the screen, just outside, we can see a shadowy figure emerge quickly before disappearing from view. The kids then decide to go outside, scared but curious. We can hear strange banging and knocking noises.
Y pues... No tengan miedo.
The kids walk to where the shadow figure disappeared, turning the camera to the left when they catch something again. Watch.
Si estás aquí, preséntate ante nosotros.
We can see a shadow figure peering out.
Si estás aquí, preséntate ante nosotros.
The camera operator calls out to the formation, asking it to present itself. When this happens,
Somos tus nietos.
Watching that again, the shadow figure pops out and flies up into the air.
Nosotros somos tus nietos.
In the second video, we can see the roof of the same house. A few seconds into the video, we see the same shadowy figure appear for a brief moment on the roof before it vanishes. Interestingly, it seems that the children thought the shadowy figure might have been their grandfather who passed away. They even introduced themselves in the first video as the figure's grandchildren. However, the figure didn't seem to respond to this, which probably means this unsettling dark figure isn't their grandfather.
Somos tus nietos.
The Molly Stark Sanatorium in Stark County, Ohio is yet another sanatorium that's believed to be haunted. The Molly Stark Sanatorium's history extends all the way back to the 1920s, where it once housed tuberculosis patients. In the 1990s, the hospital eventually closed down due to resigning staff and money troubles. Since then, the location has become decrepit and a hotspot for paranormal investigators and bored teenagers. Those who have visited have claimed to have experienced various paranormal occurrences, such as hearing strange sounds, seeing orbs, and even spotting ghosts of former patients. YouTuber Urbex Hill decided to join in on the fun and see what he could spot in the eerie location. What he finds is definitely unsettling, to say the least. In the first few minutes of the video, the uploader wanders around the sanatorium, showing us the well-worn interior. He notes that he hears footsteps from above, spooking him out.
Do y'all hear that? Just walking. I hear footsteps.
Then, at around the 8-minute mark in the video, something very eerie happens. Watch.
What the f is that? Yo, do you see that? Y'all?
In the center of the video, down in the tunnel, we can see a dark figure walking in the distance.
What? Yo, what the f? That is crazy.
YouTuber eventually walks down the tunnel but comes across a dead end, meaning that the figure must have disappeared into thin air.
It's a dead end. Oh my. What?
Here's the sighting zoomed in and brightened up.
Yo, do you see that? Y'all? What the fuck? Yo. What? Yo, what the f?
At the very end of the clip, the YouTuber plays some footage he took of the sanatorium's exterior. Watch what he saw. There appears to be someone or something standing up on the roof. Many viewers were puzzled and creeped out by the footage. They believe the first figure had to be a ghost, as it seemed to disappear into a dead end. While the second sighting could have been a real person, this could explain the footsteps that the YouTuber heard.
Do
Well, according to this footage, it seems this sanatorium does indeed have plenty of spooky, ghostly, and human visitors. In August 2016, YouTuber The Ball Family Vlogs was filming what was supposed to be a normal vlog updating their viewers, but it appears they inadvertently caught something strange on camera. The YouTuber welcomes viewers to their home before turning the camera around and showing us the living room.
An extra storage workshop area. Our dog is back there right now because he's a little sick and gotta take him to the vet.
As the camera pans past some stairs, it slows down to show something standing there. It looks like a transparent figure. The YouTuber has said they've experienced weird things in the house. Even their mum has felt an unexplained presence in the home. The ghostly figure is certainly eerie looking and quite suspicious. Sometimes cameras can't always clearly capture a person moving very quickly, showing the person as a blur or even transparent. However, this figure doesn't appear to be moving at all, throwing this theory out the window. With that being the case, what do you think's happening here? Let us know in the comment section down below. This clip, shared by Facebook page Wicked Investigations, shows us a sighting that's been creeping viewers out for years. The footage was shot by a security guard doing his rounds in an empty shopping mall late at night somewhere in South America. Watch what he spotted. Watching that again, we can see what looks to be a little girl on the escalator.
Meu Deus do céu.
The guard runs towards it, showing us an empty view. Just seconds later, the child can be seen running off. Somehow, they're back on the ground floor. The security guard said that this is the second time he's spotted the little girl after hours in the shopping mall, and that he couldn't find her anywhere even after a thorough search. How is it that the girl went up the escalator but then seconds later was back on the ground floor? Were there two children running around the shopping centre after hours? It seems unlikely, as the guard couldn't find a trace of anyone anywhere.
Ai meu Jesus! Ai meu Deus!
YouTube user Logan Robert has shared some eerie Ring security camera footage from his own backyard. We could see someone standing outside apparently calling for a pet to come inside. See if you can spot anything unusual.
Give it, Mahu.
Watching that again in slow motion and brightened up, there's a strange shape that floats by in the background. Given the low quality of the image, it's hard to tell what this actually is. The uploader thinks it's a ghost. However, due to the compression rate of the home security camera system, it's impossible to make a definitive call as to what we're seeing. I'll throw this one out to you, the viewers. What do you think's been captured on this home security camera?
Give it, Mahu.
In October 2021, a barbershop in Long Beach, Proper Cuts, experienced something on the paranormal side. The TikTok account, thebarber_T, shared some security footage of the shop, and it's been creeping viewers out ever since. In the video, we can see CCTV footage at the barbershop. A few seconds in, we can see the door at the back of the shop randomly open. A few moments after this, we can see what looks to be a ghostly figure moving across the TV screen on the left-hand side. Following this, the door that was open suddenly shuts. About 30 seconds later, the door opens once again, except this time one of the barbers gets spooked and starts to leave. Watch what happens. The creator of the video suggested that perhaps one of the clients that day was a poltergeist. The responses from the clients and barbers alike seems quite genuine. Unless this was a prank and the people in the footage weren't in on it, this event will have to be chalked up as a complete mystery. Some weird videos, such as this one, posted by a YouTube channel called Gothic Art House, don't seem all that strange at first. However, the more you think about them, the stranger they become. The Optica Network videos claim to present research about dreams and what they mean. They're presented as a sort of welcome video, as though you've signed up to some kind of strange sleep experiment. Fairly quickly, they make you question the link between waking reality and dream state. What would happen if you couldn't tell the two apart? This particular video, part 9 of the series, discusses certain aspects of dreams that the network considers red flags. The video begins with an unsettling vision of a shadowy figure lurking outside an apartment. The red flags it refers to suggest that someone or something has infiltrated your dreams and may be there to cause harm. For example, dreaming about flying could suggest that you're ready to make a big change in your life. However, the video warns that you should never make a decision before consulting your local Optica agent.
Do not make any decision before consulting your local Optica agent.
Additionally, if you find yourself trapped in your dreams, Optica warns that you shouldn't talk to yourself. Turns out, duplicates can be very dangerous.
If you find yourself trapped in your dream, do not talk to yourself.
Duplicates are dangerous and temperamental.
Such incidents, along with numerous others, should be immediately reported to an Optica agent for your own safety.
Call this number and report your dream.
Your cooperation.
After discussing a few red flags, the video is interrupted by strange ads and audio labelled as confidential Optica records, in which we hear an Optica patient moaning, "Let me see him."
Make sure patient 425 does not open their eyes.
We also hear an official sounding voice stating, "Make sure the patient doesn't wake up."
Make sure patient 425 does not open their eyes.
Ultimately, it's a surreal piece that makes you feel like you're in an alternate reality, in which an ominous entity, the Optica Network, has induced you into a permanent dreamlike state. It's well worth a watch, and I'll put a link to the full video in the description box below. The Chelyabinsk State Museum in southern Russia is home to numerous interesting artifacts. However, one of the most intriguing items displayed at the museum is a fragment of the Chelyabinsk meteor. The largest surviving fragment of the meteorite resides in a glass case cabinet inside the museum. To lift the dome covering the meteorite, a museum official must obtain formal approval, so it's rarely opened. The remote control that operates the 4 separate motors is kept in a secret place, watched by a security camera. Yet, in December of 2019, a different security camera recorded something unusual, the case lifting on its own. No one had been authorised to open the case, and the remote was secured in its usual place. Some state that it was most likely a mechanical glitch, but the odds of all 4 motors malfunctioning simultaneously are highly unlikely. Several theories have been put forth. Some believe that the heavy glass must have been lifted by a poltergeist or some kind of paranormal force. Others have suggested that the meteorite might have exuded an extraterrestrial force that made all 4 motors malfunction. This chunk of space rock entered Earth's atmosphere over Russia in 2013, burning brighter than the sun. Because of its humongous size and heavy atmospheric pressure, the meteor burst in the sky, creating a violent shockwave, hot dust and gas, and numerous smaller fragments of rock that sped to the ground. The energy from the blast was approximately 26 times as much as was produced by the atomic bomb that destroyed Hiroshima in 1945. According to authorities, 1,491 people were injured by the blast. Injuries ranged from broken bones and concussions to flash blindness and ultraviolet burns. Around 7,200 buildings were also damaged by the blast. So what do you think made the glass move? Poltergeist, extraterrestrial energy, or simply motor malfunction? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. In Bristol, UK, there have been strange sightings of a man wearing a shed on his head. For years, people have reported seeing a person with a sort of shed helmet walking the local streets, but were unsure whether it was some kind of publicity stunt or prank. In this video here, uploaded to YouTube by Edward Jenkins, you can see one such sighting of the infamous shed head. The shed is adorned with brightly coloured lights that flash in time with techno music blaring from the structure. The shed's chimney often spouts small flames and smoke, making it hard to miss the bizarre spectacle. Subsequent sightings have been popping up all around the internet. This video here, from an unknown source, shows the man walking down the street as the shed blares out music. The man behind the shed engages in relatively normal behaviour while going about town. As the music blares and the chimney smokes, he walks the streets, checks his phone, and does a bit of shopping. The mysterious character recently made headlines in the UK when he was spotted doing some shopping at a local Aldi supermarket. Recently, the local Bristol celebrity has self-identified as Michael Shedworth. He did an interview on Big Jubba's Yak Shack music podcast to clarify his way of life. According to the aptly named Mr. Shedworth, the shed is not really a face covering, it's a part of his body. He claims that both of his parents are sheds, and that the shed head developed naturally as part of his body. As he got older, the shed developed more fine details, such as its glossy coat and chimney, which he claims are a part of a shed's natural maturation process. The music, lights and flames are also natural according to Mr. Shedworth, emanating from inside him. Despite operating under the Shedworth moniker, the man's true identity remains a mystery. Whether Mr. Shedworth really is a shedhead, an attention seeker, or slightly unhinged, the weird videos of him living his life are not easily forgotten. According to one of our viewers, Knight Rider V12, something strange has been happening between the sheets. In this set of weird videos, the things that go bump in the night get a little too close for comfort. As Knight Rider V12 rests in bed, a small lump begins moving underneath the covers. He states that the covers are too thick and heavy to be moved by the wind. Even if the sheets could have been disturbed by the wind, there's almost no breeze coming in through the window nearby. His hands and feet are clearly above the sheets, so he couldn't have made the movements himself. He even reaches out to touch the moving spot to confirm there's no small animals underneath the sheets. Yet the movements continue. The viewer states that this has happened numerous times. The family believes that they know what's causing the strange phenomenon recorded in these weird videos. About 6 months before the creepy movements began, the family dog unfortunately drowned in the backyard pool. The dog got stuck underneath the pool cover and died while attempting to get out from under the thick tarp. The family believes that the videos show the ghost of the deceased pet. We can see that the movements resemble an animal poking its snout upward from beneath, just as the dog must have done as it attempted to get air while stuck under the pool cover.
Ma.
Sadly, the weird videos seem to suggest that the dog may be reliving its final moments while in the afterlife. In another case of a ghostly pet, a CCTV video captured by Juliet Bird and Deanna Kraut seems to have recorded a feline friendship that goes beyond the grave. In July 2020, housemates Juliet and Deanna were notified that their security camera had captured movement. The footage shows a parking area where 2 cars are sitting idle. The cameras are intended to prevent theft, but they caught something much more eerie. A cat with all white fur walks across the sidewalk in front of the cars. Although all white cats are sometimes playfully called ghost cats, this kitty is not the most interesting thing that occurs in this video. A moment later, another animal follows the white cat onto the screen. This cat, rather than being completely white, is utterly transparent. This second cat follows its feline friend until it seems to vanish into thin air. The housemates identified the white cat as their neighbour's pet Topsy. When they showed the neighbour the footage, the neighbour said that they had another cat called Licorice who had recently passed away. So is Topsy being followed by his old friend Licorice? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. In 2009, YouTuber Thomas Rengstorff posted a strange video showing his latest animatronic creation. Little did he know the disturbing figure would take the internet by storm, earning a place in the Nightmare Hall of Fame. The animatronic is modelled to look like the late pop star Michael Jackson. It moves in time with music that plays in the background. However, as the song plays and the animatronic figure's differently sized eyes stare into the camera, you can hear the distinct sounds of a man screaming. There's also an eerie voice speaking incomprehensibly. Videos and stories of the creation spread like wildfire. The animatronic figure was eventually named El Ini Ayawaki, an intentional misspelling of Annie Are You Okay, which is a popular lyric from Jackson's song Smooth Criminal. The lore claims that the hideous Ayawaki might appear in your bedroom, always at around 3 AM. The quiet of the night would be shattered by a sound resembling Jackson's iconic hee hee. The infamy of Ayawaki led to other videos, comics, and memes. The most famous is this supposedly cursed video shared by YouTuber Van Az. The video shows a creature with Ayawaki's face atop a pair of long legs clad in loose black pants. The creature has no torso, neck, or arms. It walks up a set of stairs and then begins dancing manically. The muffled Spanish narration tells the story of a man coming across a Michael Jackson CD lying in the street. After playing the CD, he goes insane and is committed to an asylum. Some say the video is cursed, and that watching it even just once could induce panic disorders, anxiety, and deep feelings of existential dread. There's even rumours of people slipping into a permanent state of psychosis. For many security guards working at nighttime, shifts go by relatively quiet as most of the world's sleeping. Unfortunately, this wasn't the case for one unlucky security guard working in a nursing home in Chicago. YouTube user The Hidden Underbelly 2.0 shared Officer Jay Brown's story of meeting with something creepy during what was supposed to be just another shift. In the video, the security guard shows CCTV footage taken during his shift. In the footage, the guard is sitting at his desk and all seems quiet. But then, something eerie happens. We can see what looks to be a nearly transparent white shape floating over the carpet that lays in front of the entrance to the building. The security guard sits back against his chair, obviously perplexed. He stands up for a few seconds before putting his arms up and pointing to the camera.
And I'm like, okay. So I looked at the camera, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna calm down. So I wanted to tell the camera, y'all see that? Y'all saw that, right? I'm telling.
The security guard explains via voiceover that he wanted to ask those viewing the camera if they had just seen what he had seen, which is why he raised and moved his hands.
So I wanted to tell the camera, y'all see that? Y'all saw that, right? I'm telling CHA, did y'all see that? Okay.
Here's the footage in slow motion with a close-up of the eerie, ghostly figure. This means the security guard saw the strange anomaly in person as it passed through the lobby, and the video evidence certainly backs this up.
See, I saw that.
Commentators of this video were certain that this footage showed a real ghostly appearance. They also stated that the security guard's reaction seemed genuinely shocked. There were a number of suggestions thrown around as to what the shape could be, including a spirit of a person roaming the building, a ghostly animal, or even the idea of a demon. So what do you think? Given the guard's reaction, coupled with the video evidence, makes this a compelling piece of footage, one that may provide a glimpse into the afterlife. Hospitals are considered by many to be hotspots for wandering spirits and ghosts, as they see a lot of death in their halls. One particular hospital in Peru is said to be home to multiple hauntings that simply can't be explained any other way. In one video shared by YouTuber Jesus Enrique Mazzano Ramos, we get to see one exceptionally eerie spiritual happening right in front of our eyes. The CCTV footage provided shows an early morning feed of the empty day surgery service of the hospital. It would appear something very unusual was caught on camera. Let's take a look. 15 seconds into the footage, viewers can see what appears to be a spooky human-like shape appear on the left side of the frame and walk through what appears to be a car park. As the figure walks to the right of shot, it begins to become more and more transparent until it fully fades away into nothingness. Workers in this hospital have stated that these spiritual sightings are quite common in the building and that they believe they're actually souls. As this figure looks like and walks exactly as a human does, could it possibly be a soul that once passed away inside this very hospital? Usually parents use baby monitors to watch over their little ones in case they begin to cry, shift around, or express other types of discomfort. But what about when a parent notices something happening nearby the baby that is not explained by any usual behaviour? That's exactly what happened to YouTuber Dad's Always Right when he saw something on his baby monitor that gave him the chills. In the brief clip, a baby sleeps soundly in a baby carriage snuggled up in blankets. when suddenly something eerie happens. The bear slowly turns sideways, seemingly all by itself. It stops a couple of seconds later, seemingly looking directly into the camera as the clip ends. Teddy bears and dolls moving all by themselves have been the plot points for countless horror films and TV shows. Usually in these films, the stuffed animals and dolls have sinister intentions, bringing death and destruction to the humans around them. Thankfully, this baby's dad and his child haven't experienced any harm. Still, the fact that the teddy bear stopped moving as soon as it was facing the camera certainly leaves viewers of the video with an unsettling feeling in the pit of their stomachs. It's rumoured that all kinds of paranormal activity haunt the many theatres around London. As London has such a long history, it's perhaps no surprise that paranormal and poltergeist activity has been reported. One particular theatre, the Victoria Palace Theatre, is said to be especially haunted. Check out this frightening clip, uploaded by the YouTube channel Billy Elliot the Musical. A number of inexplicable occurrences seem to take place. Check it out. At around the 7-second mark, we witness the door to the costume changing room open seemingly of its own accord. It stays open for a few moments before slowly closing again on its own. A little time goes by before we get to see another hair-raising event. One of the model heads on which a wig rests suddenly falls to the ground. Shortly after, a few objects that were on the wig changing table suddenly fall to the ground, right before the clip ends. Dressers of the Victoria Palace Theatre have suggested that the hauntings could be due to one specific person, the early 20th century Russian ballerina Anna Pavlova. While Pavlova was an extremely successful dancer, she was also incredibly superstitious, even afraid to see her own picture on posters. She used to use different entrances than most people to enter the theatre. In the wig room once rested a statue of Pavlova, which was eventually removed during World War II. Present-day dressers believe that Pavlova's spirit continues to haunt the room, causing the random opening and shutting of doors as well as flying wigs and missing props, forever imprinting her own superstitions onto the theatre. Museums are a great place to see some incredible art, learn about history, and, according to this footage, possibly see ghosts. This eerie CCTV footage uploaded to YouTube by Casper Web TV has left viewers on edge. In the video, viewers see what appears to be a large room in the museum, with two bright lights shining down on the floor. The camera appears to have caught some unusual activity. Take a look. A ghost-like figure appears out of nowhere and strolls over the floor under the lights, where it becomes difficult to make out. As it does this, the turnstiles in the bottom right of the shot appear to spin all on their own. After a few moments, the transparent figure turns around, making itself visible once more, before it walks back to the left of shot, then completely disappears. As this is live CCTV footage, viewers state that they're more likely to believe that this is an actual apparition over something that could have been manipulated or edited. Moreover, there doesn't seem to be anyone else in the room that could explain the arrival of the figure or why the turnstiles appear to move on their own. More importantly, the transparent nature of the figure is certainly mysterious. Give this clip another view and let us know what you think. It's thought that paranormal entities can take on all types of different shapes and forms. One of the most common is the shape of a shadow figure, or a dark entity that resembles a shadow. In this instance, viewers can see a possible shadow figure taking on the manifestation of a circular black mass. YouTuber Hidden World has shared this clip, which has made the employees of this office want to give it a double look. The first 25 seconds of the video is still footage of an office space, with a couch, a couple of desks, and a chair. It's after the 30-second mark, however, that something bizarre is caught on camera. We can see a small black mass appear near the doorway of the office space. The mass slowly hovers up from the floor before suddenly moving over the desk and chair and turning into a strange mist. The clip is played twice more with a focus on the strange shape as it moves over the desk. What's particularly odd about this shadow figure is its transformation from a solid black shape to being nearly transparent in just a second. We can only hope this dark figure had innocent intentions. While driving on freeways, we expect to see lots of cars, lights, and long stretches of road. But what about when we see something more sinister on the highway? That's what seemed to happen in this clip, originally posted on I'm Haunted's YouTube page. In the video, we see CCTV footage of a freeway with cars driving by. After a few moments, on the left side of the frame, we see something eerie. We can see what appears to be a mysterious figure resembling a man casually walking across the left side of the road. A couple of seconds after it appears, a big truck drives into frame and seemingly right into the figure. As the truck drives on, we can see the entity again, walking just as it was moments ago. The figure then steps onto the freeway median before disappearing completely. Here it is again, zoomed in and in slow motion. The uploader of this video believes that the ghostly figure could actually be a time traveler from another era exploring the road. Some commentators of the video have disputed this, however, wondering how a time traveler could have walked away unharmed after being hit by a truck. This led to others speculating that it could indeed be a ghost, spirit, or other paranormal being haunting the highway. Give the clip another look and judge for yourself. In this video, a shadow figure makes an appearance in yet another seemingly normal place, this time in a hallway of a regular home. What makes this particular video more spine-chilling is the fact that an innocent baby may have been involved, as shared by YouTuber Captured Camera TV. We see what appears to be a hallway of a normal residential home. Soon after the clip starts, we hear a violent banging sound. Seconds later, we see something unusual. Take a look. A dark shadow appears on the left side of the wall. The figure seems to travel down the hallway with its shadow appearing on the right wall as it makes its way down the hall. We then see the shadow figure go into a room on the right-hand side. After a few moments, the shadow entity reappears briefly outside of the door again, while a baby begins to cry. As the video goes on, the baby's cries turn into loud screams, until the baby ceases to make noise. We then see the shadow figure re-emerge and leave down the hallway. The fact that the baby started howling when the shadow figure entered the room is certainly eerie timing. What could the figure have done to the baby while it was haunting the room? Or could the baby's cries not be related to the figure at all, and instead be pure coincidence? There's been no explanation for what's happening in this clip, so we can only make assumptions for ourselves. As usual, I'll throw this out to you, the audience. Let me know what you think's happening in this eerie video, then let us know down in the comments. In May 2021, Coventry local Rebecca Glassborough took a group photo with her friends and thought nothing of it. However, when they later reviewed the photo moments later, they were all shocked at what they saw. In the picture, we see the group of friends posing together. On the left side of the photo, we see what appears to be a blurry-looking woman with dark hair and a grey face, hovering just above one of the friends. Glassborough emphasised that this was not an individual who was part of the group. After spotting the figure, the group explored the apartment for any signs of what the face could be, but found no reasonable explanation. There were rumours in the neighbourhood that a woman had died in the bathroom of the apartment that this photo was taken in. Without knowing how to explain the strange figure in the photo, Glassborough admits to having a few sleepless nights, wondering whether there's some kind of ghostly presence in her apartment. So could this ghostly figure be the very woman who passed away in the apartment? While there's no clear answer, hopefully the photo's owner can solve the mystery and get some sleep soon. While attending a ghost tour of a famous former slaughterhouse in the Village in Mansfield, Nottinghamshire, visitor Tanya Copeman felt a sudden urge to snap some pictures while down in the dark cellar. In the photo, we can see the cellar covered in a bright green carpet. A door stands in the middle with a sticker of an alien on it. But the creep factor gets cranked up to 100 when we look at the far right of the image. While initially hard to see, we can make out a terrifying, ghoulish face staring directly into the camera upon closer inspection. The photo's owner didn't initially notice the dreadful looking face until later when she looked through her photos. At first, she thought the eyes of the figure were simply two bright white lights. Of course, this all changed when she saw the outline of a face. The couple then contacted the tour guide, who double-checked CCTV footage of the cellar and confirmed that no one else had been in the room with the group when the photo was taken. That's when the tour guide suggested that this could be a ghost of one of several monks who allegedly burned there hundreds of years ago. He even tried recreating the photo to see if he could catch the presence again, though he was unsuccessful. Historians say that an old barn once stood on the property. Prior to the 19th century, it was said to be used as a hideout for monks seeking refuge. One day, the barn was set alight and 7 monks perished in the blaze. Interestingly, Tanya had said that she felt her face go hot when she first entered the basement, even before knowing about the priests who had burned there. She believes the burning sensation is connected with what's been caught on film, and that there's no other way to explain what had happened besides referencing the paranormal. Now, if all this sounds familiar, it's because we featured footage from the Village in Mansfield just a few weeks ago. The clip we shared shows an eerie smoke blowing through the property. This was captured by a CCTV camera during a seance conducted by full-time paranormal investigator Lee Roberts. He too referenced the tragic fire that took the lives of several monks. So given the evidence, is something supernatural really happening at this old heritage-listed building in Mansfield? User Small Bees uploaded this eerie photo to our Slapped Ham subreddit. They took their nephew to the Kemah Boardwalk in Texas for a fun night out. In the pic, we can see a large splash pad area, with the Redditor's nephew looking down in the middle of the frame. To the immediate right of the child, there's a strange shadow. If you zoom in, there's even what looks to be a partially formed leg. Small Bees said they took numerous photos that night and they all seemed normal, except for this one. Most other Redditors were creeped out by the photo and were sure that this was evidence of something otherworldly. One viewer did say that this could be a case of motion blur. Perhaps the original poster had captured another child in motion who appeared blurry on camera. The original poster disputed this, showing another photo of a child running in the same area. While there is a little bit of motion blur in this second image, there are definitely no dark shadows near the children. While there's no way of knowing for sure what's been captured in this image, the dark shadow and the partially formed leg does make one's mind wander into the realm of the paranormal. In 2016, the aunt and uncle of Redditor Caramel Watermelon were on a ghost tour of the Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Kentucky. The aunt diligently took photos of all the rooms they visited, just in case they caught something supernatural. Sure enough, in a dark, dusty room that was once used as a children's play area in the sanatorium, something showed up on film that wasn't there in person. In the eerie photo, we can see a large, empty room. In the back of the room, in the doorway, we can see a small, dark shadow. From a distance, it resembles a girl. Waverly Hills was opened in 1910 to house tuberculosis patients. At the time, the local area was being ravaged by tuberculosis or the White Plague. In 1914, a children's wing was added, for not only kids suffering from tuberculosis, but also children whose parents contracted the awful disease. Over the years, it's been dubbed the most haunted location in the United States. The Redditors aunt explained that in this particular room where the photo was taken, the children of the sanatorium would gather to play games. As such, many commentators on the photo believe that this is the ghost of a little girl who once played here. Some Redditors noted that the figure seems to have disproportionately short limbs. Given the morbid history of Waverly Hills Sanatorium and the years of suffering and death that have played out amongst the halls of the old building, it's possible that the spirits of former patients do indeed linger here. Reddit user Kirkster1986 captured a bizarre incident on film one night that he had to share with other ghost lovers on Reddit. On the 9th of May 2021, while taking a nap on the couch, the Reddit user's home security system detected movement in the living room. In the first picture, we see the Redditor lying down on his couch, sleeping. However, judging by the timestamp, a fraction of a second later in the second photo, the blanket has been lifted off the Redditor. On top of him is what looks like a crouching shadow figure. Here it is, zoomed in. There were plenty of theories as to what's happening in these photos. Some jumped to the idea that this figure was actually a succubus. These demonic entities have been noted in historic literature all around the world for centuries. Folkloric tales refer to a feminine supernatural energy that haunts men in their dreams. Typically, these entities sit on the dreamer's chest and suck the life force out of their victims. From Arabian mythology to Buddhist scriptures and European folklore, it's interesting that these disparate cultures all refer to the same supernatural entity. one that visits you in your dreams, sits on your chest, and sucks the life out of you. So could these photos confirm a thread of truth running through the mythology behind the infamous succubus? Take another look and decide for yourself. Haunted hotels make for the perfect spooky outing. Reddit user cplats123 decided to get their fright on with a visit to Hotel Mead, a supposedly very haunted place in Montana. The building's history stretches all the way back to 1875, when it was first used as a courthouse. In the 1890s, it was transformed into a bustling hotel, where many of the town's big events and socials were held. The hotel was made into a makeshift hospital when epidemics hit the city, including smallpox and typhoid. In the 1940s, all the townspeople left the city, leaving the building abandoned. Fortunately, Montana State Parks decided to renovate the building and present it as a visitors center. Nowadays, visitors and workers on the building alike have reported countless sightings of all types of strange manifestations, with most of them believed to be previous residents of the hotel. In the photo shared to our Slaptam subreddit, we can see a room on the hotel's second floor. On the right side of the doorframe, we can see a strange strand of curly blonde hair. The Redditor explained that in 1916, a young girl named Dorothy Dunn had drowned in the hotel pool, and her spirit is said to haunt the second floor. The uploader said that they took the photo because they're fascinated by old-fashioned doorways that have internal windows on them for airflow, so they grabbed a quick snap, thinking nothing of it. Some commenters thought the girl's hair looked too vivid to be a ghost, and that there was probably just another person in the room when the photo was taken. However, the OP insists that the room was empty when they walked by and snapped the photo. So could this be a glimpse of Dorothy Dunn's spirit? Or is there another way to explain the photo? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. There's someone at the door, and it's not your long-awaited delivery. Reddit user VeggieShite420 captured something with an accidental Snapchat picture that's been making people want to bleach their eyes out. In the image, we can see the Redditor's living room. Take a look at the doorway on the right-hand side. Here we can make out what looks like a dark figure wearing a white sweater and black pants. The head of the figure looks like it's sunken down into its torso. Take a look at this brightened version of the image. It's worth noting that the Redditor didn't seem to notice this horrifying figure at first. In fact, they posted the image asking about two small lights on the left side of the photo. In the pitch black under the window frame are what resembled two bright eyes looking inside the home. Most people shrugged this off as either lights from an electronic device or an animal. Instead, they were far more interested in the freaky floating figure in the doorway. So what do you make of this unsettling photo? Love to hear your theories in the comments section down below. As kids, most of us had a fear of something creepy hiding under our beds at some point or another. Perhaps it was the boogeyman or a sinister clown. As we grew older, we understood that this was just another childish fear that we would grow out of. Or is it? For TikTok user JoshDean0222, this nightmare was anything but a silly youthful fantasy. In fact, it looks to have become a reality for his young daughter. In the video, we see camera footage of the TikTok user's daughter's bedroom. A child's musical tune is playing in the background. His daughter lies on her bed. She pokes her head over the edge to look underneath. His daughter slowly climbs off her bed and onto the floor. She crawls her way to the front of the bed, turning her head to look underneath the mattress. And what happens next will surely give you the chills. Take a look. As you can see, her body slowly goes under the bed, as if being pulled by something underneath. We then hear the child begin to wail. Her cries become more distressed as her body goes underneath until it completely disappears. The TikTok user explained that his wife believes their daughter simply crawled under the bed, though he's certain that she was pulled by something or someone. The way her body seems to slowly slide under the bed is clearly suggestive of a pulling motion, and the fact that she screams "Mummy" is extremely eerie and suspicious. The uploader later confirmed that they ran into the child's room to see what had happened. They found their daughter under the bed safe, but frightened. So could this video be a case of our worst childhood nightmare come true? According to traditional Chinese medicine, qi is a type of energy that binds life itself together, a sort of life force that exists in all things. Grandmaster Wolf is a martial artist and mystic from Australia. He's studied in remote temples in the Himalayas and other remote mountains of China, where he claims to have mastered the flow of qi. In this video, we see Grandmaster Wolf prepare with a few hand movements. What happens next is quite remarkable. Take a look. As you can see, he hovers his hand over a bowl of water. The liquid appears to vibrate as tiny ripples appear on the surface. When he moves his hand away, the vibration appears to stop. The description of the video states, "Under ideal conditions, water produces its own qi. When this comes into contact with human qi, it often produces an evidential shimmer. There is a far greater fundamental mind in all of us than what is generally accepted as the normal waking state. This original mind is your true identity. When life is engaged directly from this original mind, one becomes privy to sights, sounds, and connections in life that can never be grasped by the physical senses and the machinations of the brain. There are definite techniques and methods specifically designed to awaken this wonderful, mysterious realm of pathless ultimate reality." GM Wolf. So does this video show evidence of a powerful master of qi at work, or is there another explanation? Love to hear your opinions on this one in the comments section below. Reddit user KittyK38 has experienced all kinds of eerie activity inside of her home. From things moving on their own to strange noises and unsettling vibes in the basement. It would appear this house has become home to some kind of unnatural presence. We've shown quite a few of KittyK38's videos on our channel in the past, and many viewers agree that the house is in fact haunted. In this clip, KittyK38 speaks to the camera, giving an update to her followers on when she'll upload new videos in the future.
Happy Wednesday, TikTok. Everything in the house has been really crazy lately. I've been posting videos to show you kind of what's been going on.
All seems fine at first, but 7 seconds in, viewers are hit with something chilling. See if you can spot it.
Lately, I've been posting videos to show you kind of what's been going on, so the house is getting really active in 2021.
In the top left-hand corner, viewers can see what seems to be a tall, dark, lanky figure slowly walking behind the woman.
Lately, I've been posting videos to show you kind of what's been going on, so the house is getting really active in 2021.
The figure seems to stop in front of a large window in the background.
Schedule, and as soon as we can get back to doing live streams down in the...
Though it seems to shift around a little near the end, right as the video concludes.
Stay tuned. I will keep you updated with the haunting. Cheers.
As we said, Kitty K38 has sent a number of videos to Slapped Ham in the past, as she and her husband's home is said to be notoriously active with spooky spirits and other supernatural beings. In this way, perhaps it's no surprise that another terrifying figure has made an appearance here. Viewers noted that this figure seems to be wearing a brimmed hat, which is reminiscent of the infamous Hat Man. The Hat Man is one of the most petrifying supernatural figures, claimed to have been seen by a large number of people throughout history all around the world. He's said to be a tall, dark figure that sports a hat and stands at a distance from individuals, often staring at them eerily. There have been accounts of the Hat Man approaching some individuals and even hovering over them while they rest in bed. So could this be yet another sighting of the infamous Hat Man?
Getting really active in 2020.
Type Hat Man in the comments below if you're a true believer.
So please stay tuned. I will keep you updated with the haunting. Cheers.
Dragons have been associated with Chinese history for thousands of years. In fact, symbols of dragons are found in drawings, literature, jewellery, coins, clothing and films, among many other mediums throughout the country. It's said that the dragon symbolises extraordinary strength, and its appearance is often accompanied by impressive lightning and deafening thunder. One video shared by the news website Newsflare may have just captured a dragon making an incredible appearance in Shenyang last year in the province of Liaoning. Viewers see a view of the city from outside of a balcony. Suddenly, something extraordinary happens. Take a look. As you can see, an enormous ball of fire breaks out, seemingly out of nowhere. It's accompanied by a large explosive sound. A second corroborating clip is then shown, this time from a lower angle. Viewers can see just how intense the fireball is before it slowly dissipates.
哎呦我去！哎呦我去！这是啥呀？这是啥呀？我的天哪！
太吓人了！刚刚爆一次，怎么又爆一次呢？
Yet another clip confirms the event, this time from another high angle with a similar view as to the first clip. A final video is then played, this time as shot from a moving vehicle. Take a look at what happens. Next to the fiery explosion, just on the left, viewers can make out a strange, dark, flying figure next to the fireball just before the video ends. Some have speculated this unidentified flying object is in fact a Chinese dragon. It was later confirmed by some news outlets that the impressive fireball was caused by a lightning strike to a set of high voltage power lines. Interestingly, the power lines were not at all affected by the huge explosion, even by such a big strike. However, the dark flying figure is a complete mystery. Its large frame resembles the outline of a dragon, as often seen in images or illustrations in China. If we watch the first clip again, you can see the big black flying object from another angle. This time, however, it's a little ways in front of the explosion. This has led many viewers to theorize that there were in fact multiple unidentified flying creatures in the sky that day. So could this fireball be the result of an angry dragon, or was it simply a massive lightning strike as presented by the media? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. For one YouTube user, Seust, a stroll in the forest led to a bizarre, unexplained sighting. In the video, the camera operator shows us a view of leaves on the ground before panning the camera up to a grove of trees. The camera holder pans back down, continuing to walk forward before he or she stops, showing us one tree in particular. Take a look at what they spotted. Upon review, we see a small figure peeking out from behind the tree. The figure is dark coloured with a round head, small body, and long, narrow arms. The figure looks at the camera for a few moments before hiding back behind the tree. The camera operator then turns and walks away quickly before the clip ends. Here's the sighting again in slow motion. The YouTuber explained in the video description that in some Russian forests, there are said to be strange creatures hiding, including aliens, gnomes, yetis, goblins, and elves. These creatures appear in forests that haven't been extensively explored before. Many of the video commentators agreed that this creature looks like an alien or gnome based on its physique. As there are so many stories of creatures being found in these forests, it's perhaps not surprising that one unusual being decided to make an appearance. The question still remains what it is and what its intentions could be. Some strange sightings posted to the internet are just plain hard to explain. This could be due to a mysterious being having an ambiguous shape, moving rapidly, or having no suggestion as to what it could be at all. This is the case for one video uploaded by Warmonger on YouTube. In the brief clip, we see a view outside of a car at nighttime. What happens next may just give you the chills. Take a look. We can see a small white figure running on all fours in front of the car and into the darkness, disappearing from sight. There have been many suggestions as to what this so-called creature might be. Many viewers thought the creature could actually just be a person who was drunk or under the influence of drugs running on all fours. Others were more inclined to believe it was some type of animal, perhaps a monkey or a large cat. The YouTube user who uploaded the video explained that this so-called creature had made strange sounds before emerging. There have been no explanations as to what this figure could be, so until further information comes to hand, this bizarre sighting will have to be chalked up as a mystery. Flashing lights, a sign of an electrical problem, or something a little more sinister? This is the question TikTok user Blake A. West had when they uploaded a bizarre video to the social media platform. With over 800,000 views, the comments section went into a frenzy trying to figure out what was going on. We see a view of a large parking lot at nighttime. The person handling the camera shows us streetlights around and nearby the parking lot, all of which seem to be flashing at a rapid rate. The uploader pans the camera around, wondering what it could be. Another person in the background comments that it seems like it's a lapse in the Matrix.
It's a fucking lapse in the Matrix, guys.
A lapse or glitch in the Matrix is used to refer to an irregularity in the world that is not supposed to happen, such as with the shown flashing lights here. Many other commenters blamed aliens, spirits, or other paranormal activity on the bizarre event. Of course, many level-headed viewers suggested it was most likely a malfunction at a local power station. So is this simply a malfunction, or is it something a little more sinister? Give the video another look and judge for yourself.
It's a f***ing lapse in the Matrix, guys.
Strange objects or beings flying in the air are, terrifyingly enough, an occurrence that's been reported by countless people worldwide. Sometimes these sightings are simply explained as birds or planes. Occasionally, however, they're also believed to be UFOs flown by aliens. Still, Instagram user Unanswered Universe was not able to find an answer with the clip he shared. In the Instagram video, we see a blue sky with a flying object in the center of frame. The object resembles a small humanoid figure. Here it is, zoomed in and slowed down. Many have explained this sighting as a drone. After all, drones have become more and more common in everyday life. On the other hand, most drones are small, flat, with a noticeable camera. It's this detail that has led many viewers to believe we're witnessing some kind of alien craft or being hovering in the air. They've also theorized that it may be collecting data on Earth and sending it back to some interstellar race. But what do you think? Drone or alien? Duke it out in the comments section below. Houses where menacing figures once lived have often been the setting of many a horror film. While they're terrifying themselves in the movie world, they become even more frightening when one visits these houses in real life. Slaptown viewer Christopher G proves why this is so, with the photograph he shared originally sent to him by a friend who visited an old home with plenty of history. In the photograph, we see a room that appears to be an attic with objects and furniture strewn about. While the camera's focus seems to be a pink chair covered with an American flag, something more sinister catches our eyes in the upper left-hand corner. Here we can make out a translucent figure standing and looking in the direction of the photographer. While the bottom half of the figure is harder to make out, the head of the figure is more defined, looking like a man with a darkened face. The photographer didn't initially notice the figure until the photo was posted online. The figure becomes even more frightening once the history of the house is brought into context. The house once belonged to Captain George Conrad Flavel, who moved into the home with his wife and son in 1901. The house was passed down to Captain George Conrad Flavel's son, Harry Flavel, who lived there with his wife and 2 children until he died in the 1950s. But it was in the 1940s when trouble first started. Harry Flavel's son, Harry S., attacked a neighbour with a hatchet in 1947. After the incident, the Flavels became ostracised by the rest of the neighbourhood, living as recluses in the home. 40 years later, Harry S. went on to randomly attack a neighbour's car with a chain. He eventually stabbed the neighbour too. He served 7 years in prison, and when he returned, the family quickly moved out of the house where it was abandoned for nearly 20 years. Having housed a man who was prone to attacking those around him, the question arises, could the creepy figure caught in the photograph be the spirit of Harry S., displeased with visitors to his once territory? Or could it be that a spirit with evil intent perhaps drove Harry S. to these violent actions? Both theories, coupled with this photo, make for an unsettling conclusion either way. Yearbooks can already be scary enough thanks to awkward adolescents forever captured in photographs. But what if something else, equally as harrowing, is caught on camera? Slaptown viewer Corey S. offers viewers the chance to see something not commonly seen in yearbook photos, in his dad's 1984 book. Upon first glance, viewers of the black and white photograph see 2 young women sitting on a couch in white dresses, smiling for the camera. There are windows that seem to show the trees outside of the house or perhaps a building in the back. Upon closer inspection, viewers can suddenly see something else, what appears to be a man standing behind the window on the left. He appears to be wearing a cap with his hands crossed in front of him, looking directly into the camera. Corey S. explains that his father and his father's high school classmates could never identify who the man was in the photograph. While some have suggested that the picture could simply be a case of double exposure, Corey S. denies this due to the man's position behind the window frame. Could this man just be a reflection, or could it be a ghostly figure who wanted to leave his mark? Love to get your thoughts on this one in the comments section below. Most of the time, when people hear strange sounds in their house, they can be explained by a house settling, the weather outside, or other housemates moving about. Reddit user Oopie Spoopy Man began to hear strange noises in his kitchen, but this time, something far more terrifying may have been to blame. In the photograph, we see a hallway that leads to a kitchen. The part of the kitchen we can see initially looks dark, though there seems to be a strange blur to the left of the door. When we zoom in on the picture, the blur takes on a horrifying shape. The blur comes into focus to show what looks to be a man's head turned to the side, completely white with dark eyes gazing at the photographer. Initially, many other Reddit users couldn't see any shape. When they were able to look at the picture closer, they completely freaked out and began to come up with many different theories. The original Reddit poster claimed that his housemates were all out of the apartment when the picture was taken, and that there's simply no way to explain what was captured on film. He ended up deciding to move out of the residence and in with his family, too scared at the possibility of seeing the figure once again. While some skeptics bring up the potential that the figure could be someone in a mask, such as Michael Myers as seen in Halloween, most agree that the original poster shouldn't take the chance of staying in the residence. So what do you think that mysterious face could be? Love to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. Taking pictures in the mirror is usually a fun activity for most people to do together. Unfortunately for Reddit user Bedaily13, what was supposed to be a fun mirror picture with her sister turned into an unnerving mystery. In the picture, we see a fogged up mirror with a finger-drawn heart right in the middle, presumably with the sister's name scribbled inside of it. We can also make out the two sisters posing, but what we see in between the girls is what makes this photo a scary puzzle. In between the sisters are what seem to be two ghostly figures, with one standing above the other as they both look into the mirror with the girls. The original poster explained that her house was originally built in the 1960s, but there was no abnormal history that took place in the house that she knows of, even after doing some extensive research on its background. Other Reddit users suggested that the two boyish figures could have been siblings in another time who wanted to join in on the photo and believe there's no huge threat to the girls. Still, the mystery of who these boys are and why they chose this particular house to appear is a puzzle to everyone who's seen the photo. Yetis have been a source of debate among individuals across the globe for thousands of years in history, derived from Himalayan folklore. In the West, the Yeti is commonly referred to as the abominable snowman, with many individuals having reported seeing evidence of them in various parts in the West and East alike. Could Scott Yeoman have spotted one outside of his home in Bailey, Colorado, as seen in these photographs from 2017. Yeoman's photographs immediately give viewers a chill. Prior to snapping the pictures, Yeoman claimed that he had entered his living room and quickly noticed a terrible stench that smelled like a combination of animal waste and vomit. He first thought the stench could be emitting from a bear, but one glance out of his window completely changed his mind. In the photos that he took with his Kodak, we can see what appears to be a Neanderthal-like being with long, scraggly hair, a wide, flat nose, a face covered in marks, and piercing black eyes peering into the room. Yeoman claimed that once he grabbed his gun, the creature quickly disappeared into the woods. He called the police, who arrived and examined the photos. Two of the policemen were equally as puzzled as Yeoman, while a third insisted it was simply a bear outside of the window. Commentators of the photographs had varying opinions, with one suggesting that it could have been an escaped gorilla, and yet another offering the idea of Bigfoot. The shape and form of the figure's face is certainly strange and could be many different things. Take a look at the photos and judge for yourself. As hospitals are commonly associated with death, it's perhaps no surprise that there have been countless sightings of strange ghostly shapes and figures around them for years. Kit Williams's mother-in-law was yet another individual who had a peculiar experience in her hospital room in Brisbane, Australia. In the unsettling photograph, the camera is pointed towards the ceiling of a hospital room. In the mid-right view of the photograph, we can see an air vent. While most of the vent looks normal, we can see a strange yellow-brown shape on the left-hand side that seems to peer out eerily into the room. What makes this bizarre figure even scarier is that the mother-in-law claims the shape would blink and look around the room as if inspecting her from above. Even more terrifying, the mother-in-law claimed that she would feel others touching her and waking her up, but no one was around when she would wake up. Others who have viewed the photograph suggested that the figure could simply be a small animal, such as a possum, that have been known to crawl around air vents. Others believe this figure could be something paranormal with sinister intentions. Further still, some have suggested it could be a peeping Tom that has crawled into the vents for a better view. Either way, there's no denying that this air vent is definitely home to something that shouldn't be there. While the purpose of motion sensing cameras is often to keep individuals inside a residence safe from things outside of it, sometimes it's the inside forces that pose the biggest threat. Slaptown viewer Phil Hayball offers evidence of this with a photo he shared of a friend's house in the United Kingdom. In the picture, the motion sensing camera is pointed at the front door. This time there's no need to zoom in to get a closer look. The petrifying figure is clear as day, hovering right in front of the entrance to the home. The large figure, semi-transparent, seems to be wearing a large cloak or trench coat that covers its body except for its large dark hand hanging from a sleeve. The head of the enormous figure is cut off by the top of the image. There's no denying that a strange figure is in this photograph, though what this figure could be is a mystery to all who see it. Phil Hayball says he has no further information on the figure or what it could possibly be, making this one of the more head-scratching motion sensing camera puzzles we've seen. Is there anything scarier than a family picture gone wrong? Chris Downing soon discovered that perhaps nothing is, with a family picture that was taken with his children in 2012. The picture first appears to be a normal family photo, with Chris Downing sitting in the middle, his daughter to the viewer's right and son to the left. The family all seem to be perfectly happy, smiling for the camera, but a look at the son's leg begins to paint a different picture. On the son's leg appears to be a small hand that seems to grip onto him, which comes from no discernible body or another figure that we can tell. Downing explained that a week after the photo was taken, his daughter called him and frighteningly pointed out the hand that was gripping the son's leg. None of the family members were able to explain the hand in the photo initially, though Downing soon came up with an idea. Prior to the photo being taken, Downing had suffered a drug overdose, where he had temporarily passed away before coming back to life soon after. Downing believes the only logical explanation of the hand in the photo is that a ghost or spirit came back with him from the afterlife. Most of the commentators of the photo are quick to disclaim the picture, simply suggesting the hand could be one of a relative out of the shot. However, the family has been adamant that no one else was in the room beside the photographer. Dying and coming back to life is a very rare medical occurrence, so it's definitely not hard to believe that something just as unusual could have joined him on his journey back to reality. Just a reminder, if you have your own scary photos or videos that you'd like to share with the community, head to our subreddit. If it's scary enough, we may feature them in an upcoming episode. As always, there's a link in the description box below. When it comes to what we may see in space, extraterrestrial or otherwise unexplainable life is to be expected for some. After all, much of space remains unknown to humans, including what could inhabit other planets. The Curiosity rover managed to capture a photo of a very strange object indeed, located on Mars, now nicknamed the Martian Rose. In the Curiosity rover's picture, we see what appears to be a large rock formation on Mars, with nothing particularly out of the ordinary. With a closer look, we can spot what appears to be a small object that seems to be sticking out vertically from the sand. At the top of the object sits a round formation that seems to face up towards the sky. Space fanatics soon began to speculate about what the object could be, ruling out the possibility of another rock, instead suggesting that it could be either a plant or mushroom. The top of the object looks like a flower that is yet to bloom, where the Martian Rose got its nickname. So what do you think? Could there really be a plant on the surface of Mars, or is it just a trick of perspective? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Many individuals post eerie pictures and videos on social media in hopes that others can explain the creepy stuff that they've seen. Facebook user Tyler Thornton did just that, with the photos he uploaded of what was supposed to be a completely empty house in Victoria, Australia. The photo, taken at the house of the Facebook user's recently deceased father, is a close-up of a window. Here, viewers see a glimpse of the kitchen, but what stands inside of it is what's gone on to divide the internet. Standing to the viewer's left of the kitchen is what appears to be a tall man holding and looking down at something. The man's face and body look grey and hard to make out, but stand out clearly across the black background. The uploader of the photo emphasises that no one was home when the photos were taken, and other Facebook users quickly began to post theories as to who the man could be. Some automatically suggested a ghost, resembling a man who's doing the dishes, while another user wondered if the man could be a squatter. The photo still divides viewers today, with no definite answer as to who the figure is ever given. The following piece of footage was taken from a CCTV camera at the Mickerbrook pub located in Cheadle, Stockport in the UK. It was uploaded by Cryptids News. For years there's been rumours that this pub is haunted by a malicious spirit. Staff and patrons often report objects moving on their own, and have even felt things touch them despite no one being around. Could this CCTV footage prove that this old pub is actually haunted? Take a look.
There. Glass here. That one. That is horrible. That is the face of a girl that does not want to work here no more.
As you can see, one of the glasses shoots across the bar and shatters on the ground. But as creepy as this one incident is, it's not the only thing employees of the Mickerbrook pub have experienced during their stay. Many of the workers have said they've felt their hair being pulled in an aggressive manner by an unseen presence, one that they've since given the name Harry. And they've also said this isn't the first time a glass has been flung across the bar and shattered. In addition, punters have reported seeing a mysterious shadow-like figure donning a black hat, who usually stands in the hallway before disappearing without a trace. So what in the world could possibly be going on here? Can this all be chalked up to strange circumstances and coincidence, or is this old pub genuinely haunted by a deviant spirit? Let me know your take on this in the comments section down below.
That is horrible. That is the face of a girl that does not want to work here no more.
The following video captures something that no parent would ever want to see on their baby monitor video feed. This video, which was shared online by Cryptids News, shows a baby in a crib during the middle of the night. At first, nothing of unease can be seen, but that doesn't last for too long. Take a look at the bone-chilling footage and see if you can notice what makes this video so unsettling.
Looks like she's digging a hole to get out.
My baby sister's awake.
A face can be seen peering in at the baby.
I don't know, baby, where's that breast?
Seconds later, the infant begins thrashing about in the cot.
Looks like she's digging a hole to get out.
My baby sister's awake.
Melissa Smith, the mother of the baby in the video, insists that she's always been a huge skeptic when it comes to anything related to the paranormal. But that all changed in September of 2016, when, after a miscarriage, she began to experience some truly terrifying things going on and around her house in Toronto, Canada. The same night Melissa lost her child, she said that a children's toy began turning itself on and off and started to play music. In addition to this, she also claimed that the closet doors would begin to slam shut, and she could hear mysterious banging on her bedroom door despite no one else being home. Strangely, if we watch the footage again, there appears to be a shadow on the left of frame that comes in and out of the footage.
Looks like she's digging a hole to get out.
Admittedly, this might just be from the person who's filming the baby monitor footage on their phone. But this still doesn't explain that mysterious face peering in on the crib.
Looks like she's digging a hole to get out.
So what do you think this mysterious ghostly face is? Is it the ghost of a child, some freaky coincidence? Or is this just a trick of the lighting and Melissa has nothing to worry about? Whichever way you look at it, it's certainly a frightening piece of footage.
My baby sister's awake.
Nottingham's Prism nightclub is rumoured to be haunted. It has a turbulent 95-year-long history and was once the site of a correctional facility which housed some of the UK's most notorious criminals. According to some eerie CCTV footage captured on site, it seems perhaps the spirits of the former inmates never left. The manager, Thomas Dodd, was checking the security camera footage one night when he saw something that shocked him. Take a look at the footage and see for yourself. As you can see, one of the bar's fridge doors appears to miraculously open all by itself, before a bottle goes flying out of it. As you can probably understand, Thomas was shocked upon reviewing the footage, and still, to this day, has no idea what could have caused the bottle to fly out of the fridge. It hasn't been made clear whether or not Thomas is skeptical of the paranormal, but it's hard to explain this any other way. Mum of 5, Tracy Lenehan, was sharing some sweet and happy memories of her late father Terence with her eldest daughter Natalie in October of 2019. What started off as a relaxing day for Natalie and Tracy quickly turned into something truly creepy. While Tracy was telling her daughter all about her late father, the two women noticed something bizarre in the window of their Liverpool home, which is when they decided to pull out their camera. Have a look at the clip. The mum had just marked what would have been her father's 83rd birthday after he sadly passed away due to complications with pneumonia following a stroke he suffered in 2009. When they saw the strange figure in the window and pulled back the curtain, they were surprised to see that there was nobody there. The mother-daughter pair were left even more freaked out when they reviewed the footage and noticed that there's a hand that appears to be holding Natalie's in the window reflection. Here's the reflection again in slow motion. It genuinely does look like another hand is holding Natalie's hand. So is this really the ghost of Tracy's late father, Terrence? Watch the eerie footage again and decide for yourself. Andrew Ward is a paranormal investigator that lives in a secluded cottage in Melbourne, Cambridgeshire, UK, which just so happens to be 400 years old. He says his cottage is haunted by an entity and wants to see if he can capture it on camera for his viewers to see.
Well, we're upstairs in the bedroom now, actually, and as I said, I've got a camera on the window, and it's going to be on all night. And in fact, it's going to be on for the next few nights, just in case we don't see the ghost the first night. So let me just show the little rig up we've got at the moment. So here's the camera.
He sets up a camera in his bedroom to record during the entire night. This is what he captured. Andrew believes this is definitive proof that the cottage is haunted after more than 30 years of rumours and speculation from previous occupants, with one stating that someone had actually died there just years prior. Some viewers suggested perhaps it was the wind that opened the window. However, the opening of the latch looks far too deliberate for a simple breeze. Furthermore, this window is on the second floor and opens outwards, ruling out the possible use of string or wire. So I'd love to hear your take on this eerie piece of footage in the comments section down below. TikTok user The Weird Shelf uploaded a piece of trail cam footage that was filmed late at night somewhere in Wisconsin. In the video, we can see an animal roaming around the area when it suddenly becomes spooked by something. Take a look. A glowing pair of massive wide eyes appears off in the distance between a couple of trees in the forest. Some viewers suggested it could be none other than the folkloric creature Bigfoot, or even the Rake, but others have suggested it could just be a large coyote or even a wolf lurking in the bushes. Sadly, the video is shrouded in secrecy with little to no information about the piece of footage being known. However, even without a lot of context, it still remains an eerie video that will more than likely cause you to think twice about wandering around the woods late at night. This video, uploaded to YouTube by Michael D. McGee, seems to have caught something very eerie taking place. The clip begins in the middle of the day with the uploader assuring viewers that he's the only one home at the time. Be that as it may, the uploader explains he's heard the unnerving sound of footsteps coming from inside the house.
It's like the middle of the day. I'm the only person in the house and just heard some footsteps going up and down the stairs.
The uploader points the camera down a set of stairs. Check out what he captures. Listeners are able to clearly hear the sound of feet pounding running up the stairs. The door at the top of the stairs slams shut. The camera holder is plunged into darkness. They sheepishly investigate the bathroom where another strange bit of activity is caught on camera. Take a look.
Mike. Charlie.
As the uploader asks if his roommates are in the bathroom, the cabinet door to the left suddenly moves. Still, it seems clear to the viewer that this is no practical joke. The bathroom closet door seems to pry itself ajar all on its own, and the uploader examines the space. There's no one around, yet there's no denying the odd occurrences took place. Were they the work of practical jokers after all, or the result of something more sinister? Similarly, this series of videos posted by Reddit user RUAmyC143 seems to have stumped even the most discerning of skeptics. The first clip sent Redditors into a frenzy in an attempt to decipher just what's going on in the 3-minute video. The uploader explains that she originally purchased the camera situated in her room as she had heard noises and seen odd figures in her house since she had moved in. The resulting clip is filled with odd shadows and dusty anomalies flitting by the camera. At around the 30-second mark, something eerie can be seen. Keep an eye on the doorway. As you can see, a strange figure creeps past the open door. The figure appears to pace back and forth and is seen at multiple points throughout the video. Take a look at the 1 minute 16 mark. You can see the figure pace back across the doorway. Then again at the 1 minute 42 mark. While one of the top commenters floats the idea that the anomalies present in the video are nothing more than floating dust, the comment sets off a wave of similarly minded commenters agreeing with the idea that the contents of this video are alarming. The consensus seems to be that the figure is distressingly humanoid and worryingly seems to hang around the uploader's bedroom. In response to the attention the first clip received, the uploader chose to release a second clip, in an attempt to clarify just what exactly the area outside of her bedroom door looked like. The video shows the angle at which the camera was pointing, as well as the hall directly across from it.
In my hallway. Now if you watch where I go.
The video demonstrates that the figure would have walked straight into a wall adjacent to the doorway.
Here is the wall they walked into. I don't know what else you want me to tell you.
This makes it unlikely to be simply a person pacing back and forth, as they would have been blocked by the wall.
Wall they walked into.
Adding to the cavalcade of supernatural activity surrounding the home, this third clip seems to further confirm the presence of something odd in the uploader's home. Take a look.
What are you trying to find? What do you see?
It is well documented through similar videos that cats seem to have an eye for the supernatural. Oftentimes, cat owners will catch their feline companions staring off into space, seemingly looking directly at nothing. While some may dismiss this as unknowable pet behaviour, others seem to take this as confirmation of the ability that cats can see ghosts and other supernatural beings. Thoroughly creeped out by the cat's behaviour, the uploader seems to take the event as proof that she's not the only one to have noticed odd activity in the home.
There's something with that wall. That's the same wall that keeps walking into.
A fourth post seems to capture the same shadowy figure. This time we're treated to a still frame from one of the video feeds. Take a look. While the still frame is blurry, we can make out a strange shadowy figure standing in the middle of the room. The uploader does appear to be genuinely freaked out by the alleged hauntings, and judging by the footage, it would appear something mysterious does indeed appear to be happening in the home. Love to get your thoughts on this one in the comments section below. Home to dance challenges and viral videos, TikTok has become the internet's hub for candid ghost appearances. Such is the case with this video posted to TikTok by user Chloe Hart X. Originally intended to capture a funny dance, the video later revealed itself to be so much more. As the text overlaying the video explains, the uploader had originally not even meant to upload this particular video to the site. However, upon further examining the video, it seems the uploader came to a frightening conclusion and knew she had to share it. See if you can see anything weird. Although the uploader is home alone, a mysterious figure is very clearly present on the stairs behind her. Watch again. While she's oblivious to the figure's presence at the time, one can only imagine just how horrified she would have been upon reviewing the footage. The figure seems to move with great speed. Without the uploader choosing to record at that moment, it's likely the odd figure would have gone completely undetected. As the uploader thought herself to be home alone, the figure on the stairs presents a degree of horror. Regardless of whether or not it's supernatural in nature, the intruder on the steps is enough to give viewers the creeps. While some ghost sightings are captured completely by accident, other videos are captured more purposefully. Uploaded by YouTube user Jeremy Bateman, this video fits into that exact category. The clip begins with the uploader prompting an invisible presence to do something, anything, and show itself again.
Come on, slam it. Throw something, do something.
As viewers can safely assume the viewer began recording after something weird had taken place, viewers are left eagerly expecting a spirit or something to show itself once again from the start of the video.
Come on now, you can do it. Throw something. Open a cabinet door.
As if acting upon command, something strange is caught on camera. Take a look.
The hell?
On the left side of the screen, a pan or pot is seen moving by itself atop the stove.
The hell?
As though playing with the uploader, the alleged ghost appears to do nothing more after the uploader acknowledges that the pan is moving. While still attempting to push the ghost to its limits in order to confirm it's truly there, the uploader asks the ghost once again to open a cabinet door or open the microwave.
Open a cabinet door. Open the microwave.
The video then ends without another event. Filmed back in 2015, this clip has its fans and detractors. Some believe it to be a simple parlor trick, and that string or wire may be the culprit in moving the pot.
The hell?
Others think the video shows some ghostly activity, with the uploader's demands coming off quite genuine.
Open the microwave.
The fact that only one small piece of strange activity is recorded adds credence to the footage. It's not over the top. But as always, I'll throw this out to you. What do you think? String or paranormal pantomime? Let me know down below.
The hell? Open a cabinet door.
In this video, Reddit user Brick Whimsy seems to have captured something eerie on camera. The camera holder walks through an unknown and seemingly abandoned hospital. As they film the dark and empty hallways, something unnerving happens. Take a look. As you can see, a curtain begins to draw all on its own. Clearly frightened, the uploader moves towards the corner in an attempt to check for any person or presence responsible for pulling back the curtain. After making certain that there's no one there, the uploader immediately makes a run for it, ending the video then and there. While it's easy to see why the uploader would have been so freaked out, both the uploader and viewer are left questioning just what it was that moved the curtain. The video has prompted much discussion on Reddit, with most comments agreeing that the video is beyond creepy. Sadly, the OP hasn't given an update or told anyone where it was filmed, so for now, this clip will have to remain a mystery. Posted by Reddit user Shadow12, this next clip appears to show some good old-fashioned haunted activity. The short clip aims at a small frame near the top of a ceiling in a residential home. Take a look at what happens. While nothing obviously dangerous or mind-bending appears to occur in the video, the implications of the clip are enough to creep anyone out. The frame in question appears to move slightly back and forth. It looks as though it's being pulled to the viewer's left from the bottom of the object. It doesn't look like it's shaking by a knock or vibrations in the walls. In the comments section, the uploader explains that strange things often happen around the house. Their cats stare at what seems like nothing, a lamp was found in the middle of the floor for no reason, footsteps have been heard running up the hallway, and the uploader's mother has felt things fly past her face in the middle of the night. Although the clip is short, the uploader expresses just how glad they are that they no longer live at that location. While tech enthusiasts may marvel at just how far technology has come, it's safe to say that even the most die-hard Tesla fans wouldn't claim the supercar can sense the dead. That is, until they've seen this video. Posted to TikTok by I Am Edgar, this clip shows the uploader as they slowly drive through a cemetery. Check out what happens. Taken in the middle of the day, there's clearly no one anywhere near the car. The Tesla's smart technology, however, seems to capture someone regardless. The sensor, indicating that a person's nearby, flickers on and off as the uploader drives through the cemetery, seemingly indicating the disappearing and reappearing presence is just outside the car. The camera pans over, showing once again that there's clearly no one visible. Enough to give anyone the chills, some may argue the Tesla is simply malfunctioning, just to help themselves sleep at night. There are a few clips going around the internet showing Teslas detecting people that aren't there. However, the fact that this one was caught in a cemetery makes it that much more chilling. Viewers will have to decide for themselves as to what exactly it is they're seeing. A super advanced computer sensing the dead, or just a malfunction. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Posted to TikTok by user MaryLiz9, this video will have viewers watching over and over again. In the video, the uploader seems to be doing just what teenagers like to do most on TikTok. They're filming themselves doing a dance for the camera. The uploader says in the video's description that this clip was in her drafts and was appealing for viewers to explain the strange man that can be seen behind her. As it's a rehearsal that was never meant to see the light of day, we see the uploader walk through a few dance moves, making her way towards the camera. As she moves to her left, an elderly man can be seen walking towards the camera. The girl ends the video moments later, blissfully unaware of the man behind her, who is now out of sight. If you slow the footage down, you can actually see that the figure is walking backwards toward the camera. This would be incredibly hard to pull off if it is indeed a hoax. The erratic movements of the girl would make it difficult to hide someone the entire shot. Since going live, the video has racked up 11 million views, with thousands of comments speculating on who the old man might be. Theories range from a ghost, to a stalker, to a friend who helped stage the video. MaryLiz9 has since posted a video update in which she insists the video isn't staged, and that she doesn't know who the person was.
The video wasn't staged. I really don't know who the guy in the back was. I wasn't alone in the parking garage, I was with my sister. It was just kind of a strange experience.
She does, however, think that the man might have managed to walk away when she went to pick up her phone after the dance had ended, and just didn't notice a person behind her. So what do you think? Ghost, coincidence, or something else entirely? Love to get your thoughts on this one in the comments section below. Uploaded to YouTube by user Transistus Fluvis, this video claims to feature real footage of a small ghost boy captured by CCTV. The channel is known for posting scary videos of ghosts. It claims each video features real instances of paranormal activity. The footage comes from a camera stationed in the upper corner of a convenience store. It's been positioned to keep an eye on both the counter as well as the front door. At around 30 seconds into the clip, you can see a small child appear out of thin air. It looks as though they materialize out of nowhere, rather than simply walking up to the window. A man is seen behind the counter working and attending to menial tasks. He doesn't respond to the figure clearly present outside the door. The young child raises an arm and it looks to be eerily long. Although admittedly, this could be the two windows creating a warped perspective. The figure steps to the side and looks through the other part of the window. It's at this point that the young child seems to shift in and out of focus, almost as if switching in and out of a solid form. The worker's ignorance of the boy's presence is another telling factor, which raises a few questions. Was the boy truly a ghost, so incorporeal as to be easily ignored if one were not looking right at him? Or was he perhaps the type of spirit that can be captured on camera but not seen in real life? Or further still, perhaps the child is just some riffraff that the store clerk is choosing to ignore. Either way, the man pays the boy no mind. The boy remains staring longingly inside, all the while appearing to wish to come in as he waits alone, leaving viewers to wonder at the strange boy's fate. Sure to stump, frighten, and even amuse is this next video posted to Reddit by user KittyK38. The uploader explains that after she and her husband were concerned by a cupboard that seemed to open by itself the previous night, they set up a camera to record the kitchen the following night. That very evening, the uploader's husband is seen grabbing some cereal as a midnight snack. After pouring the cereal, the man puts the box down on the counter and retrieves milk from the refrigerator. As he does so, the cereal box is seen sliding down the counter by itself. Although the man doesn't see the box slide, he does notice that it's moved when he turns around. Only a bit confused, the man moves the box back to where it had been. As he pours some milk into his bowl, the box moves once again. The man looks slightly more concerned but finishes pouring the milk. He moves to replace it in the refrigerator once again. As his back is turned, the box begins to slide down the counter once more. Clearly spooked, the man does something very few people are seen to actually do in genuinely scary videos of ghosts. He jumps and moves away from the box comically fast. He runs out of the kitchen. The man's reaction is most likely the real deal, as he runs away from the serial poltergeist haunting his kitchen. A spirit trapped in a mirror located in a haunted Irish castle seems to be the plot of a horror movie. Yet lead paranormal investigator Siobhan Macaulay seems to have captured proof. The ghost is known as the man in the mirror. There were two separate stories in the news outlet The Irish Mirror. The original piece was by Mark Corcoran, followed by a second piece by William Dunn a month later. They both feature the video and photos captured by the 6-person paranormal investigations team during a public lockdown of one of Ireland's most haunted castles, Leap Castle in County Offaly. In the footage, you can see the lead investigator pointing out to her fellow partner that the man visible in the mirror seems to be wearing a straw hat.
There you go. Is he wearing a hat? Yes. No. Yes, he's wearing a hat. Fuck off. Yes, he's wearing a straw hat. Look. There he is.
The two seem to be able to make out separate and distinct features in the mirror.
There you can see his nose and the hat, around the rim of the hat and everything. Yes.
Like many scary videos of ghosts, this video has come into its own fair bit of contention. Another group of paranormal investigators seem to deny any claim of a ghost's presence in the mirror. They claim the mirror simply needs to be cleaned. While at some points in the video you can actually see something that resembles a man wearing a hat, it's a little odd that the man only moves when the investigator moves her torch. She even admits in the video that the entity moves opposite to her actions.
I'm going to step forward. Are you going to do the opposite again? Look, I knew he would.
With two directly opposing investigative results, viewers are left to decide for themselves just what they've seen in the mirror.
Hey, there you can see his nose and the hat, around the rim of the hat and everything. Yes.
Uploaded by YouTube user CH3 Thailand, this next clip captures something frightening on dashcam. The footage was captured in the middle of the night. As the car drives down an empty highway, a figure seems to materialize out of nowhere. Continuing on, the car seems to pass right through the mysterious figure. This video gained a fair bit of media attention in Thailand where it was captured. After being shared on social media, the video was picked up by a Thai English language news outlet. Strange videos like these reach peak levels of speculation when they broach the mainstream, and this one is no different. The clip has drawn a fair amount of skepticism, with some viewers asserting that the figure was simply the result of a reflection on the window. However, discerning viewers find it unlikely that a window reflection could so accurately show a person standing up straight and unmoving in the middle of the road in such a way. If it was just a person wandering aimlessly on the highway, perhaps drunk, how is it that they managed to pass right through the driving vehicle and disappear without a trace? It's no coincidence that St. Augustine, the oldest city in the US, is also frequently referred to as the most haunted city in the US. Posted to the YouTube channel Paranormal Planet, this video takes us on a tour of some of St. Augustine's oldest sites, all of which are reported to be haunted.
The old Spanish fortress still haunted by slaughtered soldiers.
The oldest house in America stands in an area known for a vicious slaughter by the Spanish Armada.
This right here, the oldest house.
In an old room just adjacent to the oldest house in America, the uploader claims the Spanish Armada slaughtered up to 50 people.
Spanish armadas invaded the city, they slaughtered 50 people in this room.
It's here that they set up a time-lapse shot to see if they can capture anything unusual on film. Shortly into the time-lapse shot, a shadowy figure is seen walking between rooms. It glides eerily from door to door. Given the area's history, it's clear why ghosts would remain tied to this place. Being one of the oldest continually lived-in cities in the United States and being the site of many historical battles, there is more to these buildings than meets the eye in the light of day. Almost like a movie, it would appear these shadows tend to walk across the buildings of their old stomping grounds, seemingly restless and haunting such areas of strife for all eternity. Redditor Golden Whamsy posted this unsettling bit of footage. When this urban explorer set out down this abandoned tunnel, he was most likely hoping for some terrifying thrills in the darkness. However, it turns out that something much more menacing was waiting in the shadows. In this short clip, we can see the camera holder head into the dark, decrepit tunnel, with only the light from his camera to cast a faint glow on the run-down, shadowy walls made of crumbling grey stone. For the first few seconds of the video, the tunnel is almost silent. The only noise that intrudes the eerie quiet is the sound of the explorer's footsteps as he heads deeper into the tunnel. Suddenly, the silence of the tunnel is shattered in the most terrifying way imaginable, as a horrifying howl echoes through the blackness. The howl is strange. It doesn't sound like any animal, but it also doesn't sound entirely human. Some viewers have speculated that another person was waiting deep in the tunnel to make the terrifying noise. Yet, something about the howl seems too animalistic. Other viewers believe that some sort of creature or entity made the sound as a warning, turn back now or suffer the consequences. Either way, would you be sticking around in this creepy tunnel after a terrifying noise like that? Let me know in the comments section below. YouTube channel Soul Searching is known for sharing haunting videos and scary EVPs. In this visit to the Villisca Axe Murders house in Villisca, Iowa, USA, terrifying noises became the star of the show. According to the investigators, the ghosts responded to several attempts to make contact. The scary EVPs they recorded are truly haunting. Firstly, while the crew was setting up equipment in the barn, a tape recorder caught the phrase, "I'm Noah," and "the cats lie on me," being whispered by a disembodied voice.
Yeah, look at that. I broke. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, look at that.
Later, in one of the bedrooms, strange banging noises are heard along with the phrases, "It's out there" and "I'm Katie." Even creepier, EVPs were captured in the children's bedroom, a voice saying, "Cast out the devil, my head, and good night." In another bedroom, investigators recorded "Dream That Dream" on a digital recorder, and numerous orbs on a video camera. This home belonged to the Moore family in the early 1900s. In the early morning of June 10, 1912, all 6 family members and their 2 house guests were found murdered. A lengthy investigation resulted in several suspects, 2 of whom were brought to trial, but were found not guilty. The house has been owned and lived in by several families since these murders took place. None stayed long. Each family reported strange happenings, including disembodied footsteps, things moving, voices, apparitions, and strange shadows. I don't think this house will be going off market again anytime soon. Would you be brave enough to live there, or even just spend one night in this creepy old house? Let me know what you'd do in the comments section below. When Slaptown viewer Christina received the first video of her newborn nephew, she wasn't expecting to hear any scary EVPs. But it seems like this little guy has managed to capture a ghost's attention in his first days of life. The video, recorded in Valley Medical in San Jose, California, USA, shows the baby's mother attempting to awaken the sleeping child in his hospital bassinet. While filming, the mother doesn't notice anything unusual. But when she was editing the video later, she noticed a harsh, ghostly voice whispering "wake up" to her sleeping son. Many paranormal believers claim that children are more easily able to perceive the supernatural than adults. This video seems to offer some proof of that claim. Just after the voice speaks, the baby opens his eyes and begins fussing in his bassinet. Is it possible that he heard the terrifying voice? This video was recorded while the mother and child were still in the hospital, so hopefully the spirit remains there. It's thought hospitals are a common location for ghosts to hang around because of the high number of deaths that occur in their rooms. If this little man is lucky, this will be the last encounter he has with a scary EVP. In this video from Ghosted UK's YouTube channel, a ghost seems to have spoken up either in an attempt to help or to be terrifying. Listen closely to the video and judge for yourself. The video is almost entirely black as an unexpected power outage has plunged the group of paranormal investigators into darkness. It's thought the presence of a ghostly entity can wreak havoc on electricity, so it's possible that the loss of lights is the first clue to the presence of a paranormal visitor. For much of the video, we can only hear the voices of people scared and exasperated by the loss of electricity.
Yeah, it's in the middle. Okay, would you want to swap then?
Andrew.
What? I'll swap then. Do you want to
People call out into the darkness, instructing others to find a light. After a few seconds, a faint light illuminates the area, allowing us to see some of the people who were caught in the darkness.
That's the 2 lights.
At first, the occurrence doesn't seem that unusual. However, if you listen closely while the people are calling out for light, it becomes clear that one of the voices is not of a natural origin. As the cacophony fills the air, a ghostly voice growls the words, "Get a life" or "Get a light."
I can't see. Can you put some of the light for me?
That's the 2 lights. That's the 2 lights. That's the 2 lights.
If it was the latter, the presence could have simply been trying to help.
I can't see. Can you put some of the light for
That's
me?
the 2 lights.
On the other hand, if it was saying "get a life," there could be some creepier connotations to these scary EVPs.
That's the 2 lights.
Let me know in the comments section below, which one did you hear? Get a light or get a life?
That's the 2 lights.
Redditor Cody Meniz64 lives near the site of the King Philip War battlegrounds in Bristol, Rhode Island, USA, which is believed to be haunted. The scary EVPs recorded here seem to justify this claim. One night, the usually quiet area was interrupted by the rhythmic beating of a snare drum. The drumming heard in the video is reminiscent of the types of melodies drummed in old wars as the troops march into battle. According to Cody Meniz64, the drumming continued to echo through the neighbourhood for 3 hours. King Philip, otherwise known as Metacomet, was a Native American chief who was beheaded on the very street where this video was recorded. His death occurred during a long and bloody war, in which Metacomet led a group of warriors from several Native American tribes in an attempt to push European colonists out of New England. In 1676, Metacomet was fatally shot. The vicious war lasted for another 2 years after his death, resulting in a colonial victory and countless casualties. Could the eerie drumbeat be somehow linking back to this violent past? Given its bloody history, it's unsurprising that paranormal energy would abound on the spot where Metacomet lost his life. Perhaps these ancient battlegrounds are best left undisturbed. When actor and comedian Robin Williams died in 2014, the world was shocked and saddened. His laughter and humour would be missed by many who were heartbroken by the loss. However, because of a series of videos uploaded to YouTube by Charlie Chittenden Paranormal and Huff Paranormal, some believe the beloved comedian may not be gone for good. Charlie Chittenden recorded his videos using a ghost box, attempting specifically to make contact with Robin Williams in the afterlife. Ghost boxes operate by scanning radio frequencies in an attempt to capture EVPs. At first, the ghost box seems to make contact with other spirits, one of which says, "Robin's gone, that's over." Charlie continues his questioning, with some ghostly voices seeming to provide answers to his questions. However, it isn't clear if it's Williams's voice.
Your reasons for doing this may have been that you were suffering from Lewy body dementia. Could you confirm this was part of the reason?
In Charlie's second attempt to communicate with Williams using the ghost box, Charlie again asks Williams's spirit to come forward and speak. The scary EVPs continue in this session, with ghostly voices popping up occasionally, providing unclear and cryptic responses to Charlie's questions.
Robin starred in films such as What Dreams May Come.
In the Huff Paranormal video, the host also attempts to use a ghost box to communicate with the late actor. The first attempt in making contact occurred on the day that Williams died. A voice speaks up saying, "We're waiting," in a tone that the investigator believes matches Williams's voice in life.
Are you there, Robin?
The voice makes other statements that sound like Williams and could suggest that he's in the afterlife, such as the phrase, "I must have got it wrong." The investigator makes further attempts to contact Williams. In his third attempt, the most compelling EVP comes through. The voice states, "I'm dead," in a tone that sounds exactly like Robin Williams. This session ends with the hopeful phrase, "There is light and I'm here with Dad." This suggests that the beloved actor may have found peace wherever he is. Generally, going to the local store is a rather mundane task. However, not so for this man, who found himself the unwitting star of a very mysterious video. Let's take a look.
Where is that?
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what is that?
It's blowing, I don't know,
Oh my god.
The footage, which appears to have been taken from a security camera, shows the man standing in an aisle. He takes a product off the shelf and begins examining it. Suddenly, a box from the shelf behind him floats forward, appearing to hover in mid-air.
Where is that?
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what is that?
A few seconds later, another box flies off the rack in front of the man and onto the floor.
It's blowing, I don't know,
Oh my god.
Surprised, the man bends down to pick it up just as the floating object also falls to the floor.
Oh my god, that looks like a poltergeist or something like that. You know,
Startled voices, presumably those of employees watching the footage, can be heard in the background. with one suggesting that it could be the work of a poltergeist.
Oh my god, that looks like a poltergeist or something like that. You know the thing, you know when they hear about things like flying. Oh my god, I don't like that.
The way the first box appears to slide off the shelf and hang in mid-air without any support certainly seems within the realm of the supernatural. And with no other people standing nearby, it seems difficult to explain the situation any other way. If it turns out that this video does indeed show a poltergeist, then the man may have been incredibly lucky. After all, it seemingly chose only to manipulate the items on the shelf while leaving the unaware shopper to continue about his day.
Oh my god, that looks like a poltergeist or something like that.
YouTuber Sylvia C is no stranger to paranormal activity. With many unusual events occurring in her kitchen, this video confirms what many often suggest, that the kitchen can be a dangerous place to be confronted by the supernatural. As the video begins, all seems normal. However, the peace and quiet is soon interrupted.
Cutlery's moving.
As you can see, a piece of cutlery begins to swing back and forth all on its own.
Cutlery's moving.
As the camera holder moves in for a closer inspection, it falls forward onto the countertop. Soon after, several more pieces are disturbed, almost as if violently knocked from their stand by some sort of unseen force. Then, just as everything seems to settle once again, a knife flies from a block and lands on the kitchen floor.
Oh my god, guys.
Luckily, the camera holder is standing far enough away from the dangerous object, which could have caused a serious injury.
Oh my god, guys.
The woman then asks the unseen entity if it needs her help in some way, and if so, to move something as a sign.
Do you want my help? Please move something if you want my help.
No sooner have the words left her mouth that a pot on the stove begins to turn.
Do you want my help? Please move something if you want my help.
Many viewers have questioned the intentions of the potential poltergeist in this video. The sharp knife being thrown onto the floor is certainly suspicious. However, the fact that the entity appears to respond when the woman asks if it needs help suggests that it might simply be manipulating its surroundings in an effort to get the woman's attention.
Do you want my help? Please move something if you want my help.
Could it be possible that this video actually shows evidence of a ghost reaching out to the living for help? Perhaps a trapped spirit unable to move on, or even a former resident of the house trying to communicate. Whatever the case may be, let's hope that this woman's able to figure out its message sooner rather than later.
Do you want my help? Please move something if you want my help.
Most people probably have an idea of how they think they would react if they were to come face to face with a ghost. While many may see themselves acting brave in such a situation, the truth is that most would probably run in fear. In this video shared to YouTube by Maduka Narote, we get to see what a genuine reaction to something supernatural might look like. The footage, which appears to have been captured on a security camera, shows a room with a desk and 2 chairs opposite it. A man sits behind the desk using his phone as 2 other men enter the room from the front door. The 3 of the men begin to speak before one of the men leaves. The 2 remaining men continue to talk for several more seconds until something eerie is captured on camera. Take a look. Startled, the pair look at the chairs. However, they soon resume talking. Suddenly, the chairs move once again. This time, they're lifted into the air with enough force to slam into the door. Scared, the men scatter. One runs through the front door while the other opens a side entrance and flees into the darkness. Understandably, this video's been met with mixed opinions. Some feel that the clip's been staged, noting what appears to be some overacting. However, others in the comments section think it's actually a genuine response. Imagine how you might react to the same situation. Running for the nearest exit certainly seems like a logical thing to do, given the circumstances. Surely no parent ever wants to witness something creepy occur around their child. Unfortunately, that seems to be what happened to YouTuber Original Bayless, as he was filming his toddler playing on the floor. In the video, we see a young child sitting in a living room with a mix of toys scattered behind them. The child's father explains that for the last 5 minutes, one of the toys has been moving by itself without explanation.
Yes, I don't know if you can see that, but that thing just keeps moving completely by itself.
It continues to rotate in a circle,
doing its own thing there. Okay.
At one point, the toy appears to hit a green ball, causing it to roll forwards.
And nothing really around it. It's been doing it for about 5 minutes or so.
The general consensus from viewers is that the toy's movement is certainly creepy. However, some have wondered if the toy itself is motorized and has a rolling head.
Kinda creepy.
So what do you think? Is the uploader just playing funny buggers with us? Or is this genuinely something supernatural caught on film? Love to hear your opinions in the comments section below.
And nothing really around it. It's been doing it for about 5 minutes or so. The green ball just moved.
Most people visit the library in order to read or study in peace and quiet. In this video, however, there's anything but tranquility. In the footage, which appears to have been taken from a series of internal security cameras, you can see various areas of the library. One in particular picks up something rather unusual. Take a look. The eerie stillness is suddenly interrupted when one of the books at the table appears to levitate in mid-air. The book then opens up as if someone or something is attempting to read it. While there's little information available on this footage, all we can do is speculate about its authenticity. However, the original uploader has circled what appears to be a fan attached to the ceiling in the upper left corner of the video. If you look closely, you can see that it seems to be switched off, ruling out the possibility of it being somehow responsible for the book's movement. Still, even if the fan was working, it would do little to explain the book's seeming ability to hover in mid-air. Of course, a lot of people have pointed out that it could just be CGI. So what do you think? CGI hoax or genuine floating book? Let me know what you think down below. As is often the case, renovating a house can lead to some strange discoveries. Bizarre items in the attic or an old newspaper between the crawl space. However, discovering a dormant, potentially dangerous paranormal presence is probably not that common. Initially, YouTuber Rocky Mills thought that it was a squatter that might have been responsible for a series of mysterious incidences that occurred in a property he was renovating.
Hello?
In the video, he begins to explain what's been happening as he wanders around the house.
And I think there's a squatter in this house. I think it's in here.
When he reaches the basement, he points the camera down the stairs and calls out into the darkness.
Hello?
Receiving no response, he decides to move on. After another minute or so of searching, a door slowly begins to open. The man cautiously moves in for a closer look. However, there doesn't seem to be anyone or anything nearby. Suddenly, the door to the basement slams shut. The man immediately opens it and calls down the stairs one more time. Again, there's no response.
Who is it?
The light then begins to flicker. Spooked, the man drops the camera and runs from the building. All seems still and quiet until something rather chilling occurs. Take a look. The camera begins to spin wildly as a deep breathing sound can be heard in the background. It continues for several seconds before coming to a stop. The camera then remains motionless on the floor for another minute or two, then the man comes back to pick it up. Many viewers agree that the activity seen in this video appears to be genuine, and that the man made the right decision not to enter the basement. Could it be possible that the renovations disturbed some sort of supernatural entity that was lying dormant in this house's basement? Perhaps all the spirit wanted was to be left alone.
Who is it?
While the favourite haunts of the supernatural seem to be old, decrepit, or well-lived-in buildings, could it be possible that restaurants are also prone to paranormal sightings? That seems to be the case in this video, uploaded to YouTube by Daily Pakistan Global, who captured the footage whilst eating at a restaurant named Broadway Pizza. The narrator explains that he and his friend had just come into the restaurant to grab some lunch, when they thought they saw one of the chairs move by itself.
So we just came to Broadway for lunch, and it's this.
Thinking quickly, the YouTubers pulled out a camera and attempted to catch the potential poltergeist in action.
Outlet and...
Sure enough, after a few seconds, one of the chairs moves, as though being pulled by some sort of unseen force.
Rashid Manas Road. This chair literally moved a little.
The narrator and his friend react in shock, and the clip abruptly ends.
Manas Road. This chair literally moved a little.
Viewers have several theories about this video. Some have suggested that it might be a promotional stunt cooked up by the restaurant's owners. Others are more confused and surprised by the footage and are not sure what to believe.
Outlet in Rashid Manas Road. This chair literally moved a little.
Without further information, this clip can only remain open to interpretation. Does it show something supernatural, or could it be a clever plan to attract more paranormal enthusiasts to the restaurant?
Literally moved a little.
While videos of objects moving around or falling off tables for no obvious reason are certainly scary, when they contain a potential paranormal entity, they become a little more chilling. That may be just what occurs in this clip, uploaded to the YouTube channel DM Secret Facts. In the video, we see what looks to be a kitchen. In the foreground, there's a table and chairs. Suddenly, the ceiling light begins to flicker, illuminating the room with an eerie glow. Several objects fall from the table. And the lamp begins to bend. All is still until a menacing black figure suddenly appears at the table. The figure's only visible for a split second. However, if you pause the footage, you can see it in greater detail. Take a look. Shortly after, the figure reappears, this time in the kitchen. As before, its appearance is brief, and only those with a keen eye are likely to see it. A moment passes, then the door in the background begins to open and close, seemingly all on its own. While the initial movement of the objects on the table is difficult enough to explain, the sudden appearance of the dark, shadowy figure is even weirder. Though it's only visible for a split second, its presence evokes an uneasiness that only adds to an already creepy video. A video that seems to offer more questions than it answers. So what do you think the mysterious figure could be? A ghost, shadow person perhaps, or is it simply a glitch in the film? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Slaptown viewer Steve OC sent us this eerie piece of home security footage. Over the course of several months in 2018, this viewer had been experiencing some strange activity in their home, and they seem to have the evidence to prove it. Take a look at what their home security camera has captured. As you can see, all kinds of bizarre movement has been recorded. Pantry doors and drawers appear to move all on their own. Just when you think it's weird enough, keep an eye on the window on the left-hand side. Sadly, the clip ends right as the figure appears, but if we slow it down and brighten the image, something seems to peer in through the window. It would seem this footage backs up our viewers' claims that they believe their home is haunted. But what do you think? Would love to hear your take on this strange piece of home security footage in the comments section down below. YouTube channel Paranormies is quickly becoming one of the best paranormal investigation channels on the site. They often travel to abandoned properties and other allegedly haunted locations looking for evidence of the paranormal. And more often than not, they catch things on camera that aren't easily explained. In this episode, they travel to a remote cabin deep in the Canadian wilderness. The Paranormies team were tipped off about the property when an eerie trail cam photo was posted to Instagram. Take a look.
We first became aware of Thomas and his cabin after he posted an eerie trail cam image on Instagram. The post has since been deleted, but a screenshot shows what appears to be a ghostly little girl in the middle of the woods near the cabin.
Lead investigator Jordan recounts some eerie incidents that have happened to guests while staying at the cabin.
An ex-girlfriend of his who he brought to the cabin had to leave in the middle of the night after having the worst night terror of her life and didn't feel safe in the cabin. During a hunting trip with his hunting buddies, after retiring to their rooms for the night, one friend was woken by a loud noise in the upstairs bedroom where he was sleeping. After sitting up in bed, he saw an apparition standing at the edge of his bed, which quickly dissipated into nothingness.
The team investigated the history of the cabin, which has been owned by the one family for decades. They discovered that the current owner's great aunt used to practice witchcraft inside the cabin. Knowing the eerie history and having heard the first-hand accounts of alleged hauntings in the cabin, the Paranormies team decided to stay the night and investigate the property for themselves. They set up cameras and special equipment around the cabin in the hopes of capturing evidence of the strange goings-on.
Maybe some of you are still attached to this building. That's what we've heard.
Things begin to get weird when the team hears a knock at the front door.
Whoa.
This door or that door?
It's this back door, yeah. It was this door. Hello? Radio.
A short while later, the activity seems to increase.
Soul. Revive.
Oh, you f***ing heard
What
that.
the f is going on, dude? Violence!
Violence?
Then one of their REM pods goes off as one of the team members begins to feel unwell.
I got a bad feeling in here, dude. There it goes. Just as I said that. Right there. I gotta get out of here, man.
While investigating upstairs of the cabin, more strange movement is caught on camera.
I probably shouldn't have came here in the first place, right?
Oh my god. Okay.
Holy
Oh my god, I'm having a panic attack here.
As you can see, the rocking chair begins to move, seemingly all on its own.
Oh my god. Okay.
There's another eerie detail about this chair. Earlier in the episode, at around the 8:14 mark, you can actually see that this rocking chair is on the other side of the room. The team didn't touch it at all, yet somehow it's now on the opposite side of the room later in the night.
I probably shouldn't have came here in the first place, right?
Oh my god. Okay.
As the evening progresses, the team decides to use a Ouija board to try and make contact with whatever's residing inside the cabin. Watch what happens.
Are you good or are you bad? Oh my god! Holy shit. Okay. Oh. I don't even know. Who is that?
As the investigation comes to a close, there's one final unsettling event. Watch.
Hi. Okay. I was a knock at the door.
We gotta check that. Okay, Mary, can you say goodbye?
Again. Okay, goodbye. Oh, no.
Mary, we have to say goodbye now, okay?
Just put it goodbye. Just
Okay.
put it there.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So what's going on in this cabin, and just who is the mysterious child captured on the trail cam on a cold winter's night? Given the history of the property, the fact that the owner's great aunt used to practice witchcraft in the cabin, it would seem it conjured some kind of inexplicable force that may be still lingering even today. The Paranormies have a part 2 to this investigation up on their channel now. I highly recommend you check it out, support their content, give them a thumbs up and subscribe, it's well worth a look. There's a link to their channel in the description box below.
Oh my god!
What do you see?
Holy f***, I thought I saw a shadow. This... Holy f***, I thought I saw a shadow.